We're exactly on time according to the computer clock.
Okay.
And
perfect.
YouTube says we're live, so I'm going to assume we're actually here.
Then let's go with it.
So we should get started, huh? And the green bar is saying that, yes, there's audio, but I'm going to let other people tell us for sure. But until then, hello.
Hi, everybody.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our monthly virtual Munch live stream hangout, now with added Q&A. We're trying something new for 2022. Hello. There are so many people already here in the live chat that I'm going to scroll
Cheers to your Friday night.
back through to say hello. I thought we would cheers together and have that little moment together. You were ready to get to the alcohol.
Yes.
I just want to say hi to the people.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hi to you and me. You remember? Hi.
Who are you?
I don't know anymore. I don't even want to freaking take a sip. I want to say hi to folks. I'm scrolling back up. Hi, Blown Deuce. Hi, David. Hi, Faye. Hi, Silent Wing. Hi, Mr. Spock. Hi, Mally. Hi, Jessica. Hi, V. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Musings of a Weirdo. Hi, X. Hi, Jenny. Bless you. Hi, Missy. I'm scrolling. Hi, Blink Frank. Hi. Is it Hedera? Am I saying that right? Am I saying that wrong? Tell me how to say it because I want to say it right, please and thank you. Hi, Eva. Hi, C. Stevens. I'm scrolling. It jumped. Holy shit. Hi, Little Love. Hi, Rara. Hi, Jerica. I'm looking down and not at y'all because I have to read and I can't. And what? Huh? Hi, Andre. Hi, Sassy Girl. I think I caught everybody who is here as of 9:32 p.m. Eastern.
Ooh, I got mad.
I didn't even get into my spiel about, like, this is our... I had things I was going to say, and you, like, dove your face into your drink and threw me off. Okay, good. Thank you. I'm glad I got that right. So, like I said at the top, in the most chaotic way possible, because if it's not chaotic around here, is it us? Probably not. We will do a bit of a Q&A if anybody has any cues for us to A. But let us ease into the live stream first. We figured we'd probably start around 10 p.m., 30 minutes from now. Assuming anybody even has questions. It's okay if nobody has questions. Ask the folks in the chat who happen to be part of our Patreon. When we do a Q&A and there are no questions, we chit-chat. We are not afraid to chit-chat. Hi, Shelby.
We've already got a question. What are our drinks?
That's a good question. I figured somebody was going to ask, but then I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a caffeine-free Diet Coke and vodka. Zero carbs.
And I have a cranberry and vodka.
Yes. I would like to taste yours, but I haven't tasted mine yet. I'm already doing this wrong. Oh, my. I might have laughed or been a little confused when you only did one shot.
Or snarky?
Maybe I was snarky. But actually, I wasn't being snarky. I was trying to tell you what I'd seen on the bottle.
Yeah.
And I thought somebody didn't tell me what he was going to do. And so then I had a moment where I thought briefly you were going to put 2 shots in each glass. And I got both excited and terrified. But then I couldn't get you to listen to me.
Because I was busy mixing drinks.
We've not had a bad week, so I don't know what is going on.
Speak for yourself.
Whatever. You have played in your wood shop all week long. You even now get extra time on Wednesdays that you didn't have before. You've made progress. Y'all should see the stacks of wood behind the camera. And that's just one little stack, comparatively. I'm buying you the shirt. This is Grumpy Daddy. What's the safe word? Merch shop. They have several designs, but there's only one that sticks in my mind. And I don't know when I'm buying it. Gotta wait till some more money rolls in. But I am getting the Grumpy Daddy shirt. Because the Grumpy Daddy has been in residence here. What time did I wake up? 5:55 this morning? And somebody was already grumpy. Now, granted, I respect the fact that could be because you were awake at 5:30 a.m. I get it. I totally get it. But the grump was so bad that in mid being grumped at, I decided I'm just going to stop talking and we will talk later. And I turned and walked in the other direction. And apparently I should have just done that all day. Just turn and walk in the other direction. I mean, it's so sad when mom and dad fuss, isn't it? Okay, look. I would like to taste yours if I may.
Yes.
Because I'm not a huge fan of cranberry juice, but if you make it taste better because you put vodka in it, I mean, a girl could be tempted. Yeah. I would say the vodka makes the cranberry juice better. I'm not a huge fan of cranberry juice. I like cranberry flavor, but I need it with like orange or apple or something.
Okay.
I needed a second sip to check.
Oh, okay. Just to make sure. And X said he liked our setup with the monitor. Yeah, X, I had this in mind for a while, and I put it together. What was it? 2 weekends ago?
Yeah, basically you saw the need for it, and like the next weekend you made it.
Yeah, and
which I mean, as somebody who's been waiting on a few things, I'm very impressed and also jealous.
I am going to make one minor modification to it. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit because of the setup. The keyboard kind of crowds us on the desk, so I'm going to raise this up just a little bit, just enough so the keyboard can slide underneath it and give us some room. But, yeah, trying to look professional like a newsroom here.
But what it means is I'm not a professional, so I want to look at the camera at y'all, but I need to look down. And I don't have, like, I don't need bifocals or anything, so it's the whole head that goes. Because I need all of my glasses to be able to read. I just can't look at you while I'm reading the screen. I'm so sorry. And I don't yet have that. I haven't got enough practice at keeping my head up and no, I can't do it with my eyes down. These frames are so small.
Yeah.
I need my whole head to go down.
See, from here, I can't read the chat.
Oh, I bet. I absolutely
so that's
bet.
why I've got my...
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This was a chaotic beginning. And I feel like that's not unusual for anything we do. I like to pretend we're not chaotic. I like to pretend we've got our shit together. And every once in a while I get a week where we've got our shit together. And then it falls apart very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
X, I like what you're thinking, this being a touchscreen monitor.
Yeah,
and then not needing
I
the mouse.
saw that. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, and Silent Winged mentioned something very important. Yes, I do need to try your drink each time you make a new one. I am quality control. Which seems about accurate for our life.
You're quality control for what comes out of the shop.
I'm also that. I am also quality control for what comes out of the kitchen.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. So. Oh my gosh. I'm just tired. It just hit it. Not tired, like go to sleep tired, but like I just realized all of that was a lot. And now I'm like, I'm winded. That was the word I wanted. I'm winded. I'm winded.
Catch your wind.
I'm winded. And for anybody who's got questions, we will give us a little bit. Let us ease into it. We will answer them. I've already seen at least a couple.
Yeah, there have
come
been. Yeah.
Through.
Yeah.
Why are we drinking and not having chips and dip? That's a thing to say. I don't know what the reason is other than it was Daddy's decision. And sometimes that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
We've been doing enough bad eating since your surgery.
I shouldn't label eating good or bad. It just is. It's excessive. Oh, we've been doing a lot of excessive eating.
You want to use the word excessive? That's fine. That sums it up even better. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Spock. Yeah, it's very short. It's actually, I would say, right here at the very top of my skull, the sides. This is actually a little shorter than I wanted, where the growth was before I walked in to get my haircut today. I liked that, so I'll have to remember that for next time to go. Can you like leave this and fade down here? But I was having on my sideburn areas, it was growing perpendicular to my head and I looked like a floof ball, and I was like, I don't like that, especially now that my sideburns are white, pure fucking white. And I was like, no, I have a Q-tip head thing going on here. Let's cut that down. So yeah, it'll probably be a week or two before I kind of grow into the top part right here and I like it more. But I did need to get the floof cut down, and I needed to get my neck cleaned up. But a nice man named my daddy said that he would clean up the back of my neck periodically when I needed it.
You do it for me when I cut my hair, so
it's true. I did it for you today.
I can return the favor. Yeah.
We both did our hair today.
Yep.
I paid for this privilege, so see, and
I did mine. I did mine in the garage after I was finished milling wood.
I know. I know. I kind of heard you moving around, and I was like, oh, I wonder. And I walked out at one point and saw you and went, oh, and then you called me out and I was like, oh, we're playing hairdresser in the garage again. Okay.
It's the wood shop / hair salon.
Yes, it's many things. What it is not is a garage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the technical name for it, but it is not used as a garage.
Yeah. And I think it was Kim, no, you're not vanilla. I actually mentioned if we had thought about it when we were out doing our grocery shopping, should have picked up a bottle of Moscato, but maybe that'll be next month. Yep.
So 2021 was, at least the second half was the 6 months of chips and dip. Are you saying that the first 6 months of 2022 will be the 6 months of alcohol?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we've already proved we're not great at moderation with our excessive chips and dip habit we've had for a while, among other excessive habits related to food.
Yeah.
This is how excessive it's gotten. We went and grabbed a quick bite to eat tonight. We went to Target. We were like, let's just get away, just the two of us, whatever. And we went to PDQ. I have no clue how regional or national or international a PDQ is. I know it's a chain, but I don't know where it extends to. It's chicken tenders, if you don't know.
I understand they're pretty darn quick.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, we walk in, and they're having a special, 2 for $12. And I'm like, oh, we're broke-ass bitches. I'll take a deal. And it was sandwich. It could be a sandwich or something else. We picked a sandwich and then, like, fries and a drink. And I looked at it at first and went, wow, that portion is kind of small. And then I did add a cookie because it sounded delicious. And by the time we were through the cookie, I was stuffed. I was like, I don't even know how to judge the size of a meal at this point. I'm so, like, skewed at this. Like, I can't tell you if that's a lot of food or a little bit of food. Depends on how hungry I am, I guess. But, yeah, it was nice. A chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
What was mine? A butter garlic?
You had honey butter.
Honey butter. That's right.
Was it crispy chicken or grilled chicken?
Crispy.
Crispy chicken, honey butter, pickles. I think that's all that was on yours.
And it was perfect. It was wonderful.
I tasted the honey butter later. Oh, I bet that was good on some chicken. So. Yeah, Andre, I know. It's probably a good thing we didn't drink.
Right?
We ate. I don't know which could be. I know which one could be the more destructive habit.
So
maybe that's what this. Maybe this is a pressure valve release thing going on for you. You're Mr. Grumpy Pants, who's like, "Where's the vodka?"
Yeah. Safi, they are pretty decent. First time I ever heard of them was my sister. She had me take her there a few times after I was bringing her home from her chemo, and she would ask me to pull in there for her. And that was the first time I had ever heard of them. They were in St. Pete. We didn't have one in North County where we live.
I had never had one in North Central Florida or the Panhandle. Yeah. And I never seen one in Mississippi either. So yeah, I don't know how big they are.
But there was the one here where we live now, and we've gone there a couple times. They're basically chicken.
Yeah, I think for a while they were trying to do like burgers and stuff.
For a while they had like
they got rid of all that.
Just a type of burger.
They had a few.
Oh, did they have a few?
You were going to kind of go on a tour of all their burgers, and then they took hamburgers off the menu.
And they took them off the menu, and now it's just chicken. So, and I just, this week was not necessarily a bad week for me.
Okay, good. I've been worried.
Yeah, no, it wasn't really necessarily a bad week. Just hectic.
Sure.
I felt like I was being pulled in a lot of different directions, doing a lot of things. And you know what I forgot to do today?
What'd you forget to do today?
I forgot to call the sawmill.
Oh, shit. You could probably call tomorrow.
I'll probably call tomorrow.
Yeah, because you had even said, okay, so sawmill, and we just interrupted the live stream with our life. Sawmill is where JB gets the wood that he uses in products in the Kinky, and the reason for the call is probably our second most popular wood now. Purple Heart continues to be the most popular wood. Our second most popular wood type has been black walnut, a really deep, dark brown wood. And the supplier, the sawmill, has been out for weeks. Since
mid-December.
Weeks then.
Yeah.
It's mid-January, so weeks. But when you called last, he was like, I'll have it ready in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And you've been on the countdown for, what's that 2-week mark?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll take blame/credit for you feeling pulled in multiple directions, because I've technically still been recovering from surgery, so you've been picking up my slack. And I'm the one in the background going, giddy up, give me more product. We have a site restock. So you can blame me.
Okay.
Okay.
It's all your fault.
Okay. I'll take the heat for both of that, okay? On the first one, once I recover, certain issues, both completely natural and some that are, like, annoying and would they go away, will hopefully be gone. So, okay, temporary pain for a long-term gain. And on the second, I'm over here trying to build a kinky fucking empire. I need product. I am not mad about it. I will try to go easier on you. I don't feel bad about it. I'll try to be nicer about it. Look, I will say I might be sassy as fuck, but when we're actually talking as peers on the business stuff, you are still the decider. I'm offering suggestions. I'm trying to be a helpmate, and I'm all that. Right now, I've got some liquid courage in my hand. And you annoyed me on live international television.
Gee, like I don't annoy you any other time of the day or place.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, hanging in. Black walnut is, once we started putting it out in as many different things as we could, it was sold as fast as we could replenish. And once you ran out and couldn't get any more, it was a very sad day. Because we were going to start a restock in December. Right. Because the black walnut basically sold out.
And when I went there, because it was mid-December, when I went there to pick up some more wood, he had nothing. Not even, usually he has even like some scraps, some shorts.
Sure, yeah.
Of black walnut, even that was all gone.
What's funny, what got you hooked on the black walnut was not even a slab that you bought. Mm-mm. He, at a crazy cheap price, gave you a box of little scrap pieces. Yeah. That only a couple could even make a paddle out of. He didn't know what we were making, but Yeah. And you worked with that just long enough to go, holy shit, I have to keep working with this.
The grain and the color was just absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous. On my little vanilla shop, I mean, I have some favorite things and favorite wood types, but the black walnut is still the prettiest, and it photographs the best most of the time when I know what the fuck I'm doing, which I don't, so I just pretend. And I have an iPhone, so I just use that to my advantage. But, oh my gosh. Oh, Path Girl, I'm sorry. Dating kinky can definitely suck.
I've been hearing that from a lot of people lately.
I wonder if there's just something in the air, too.
Yeah.
If there's, I mean, there's definitely something in the air. I got to stop reading news articles about how, at least from the American perspective, some of us have lost our fucking minds, because I think there's just something in the air. There's just, the world is just a lot, and we're not coping well at all. None of us. I think even those of us who are like, I'm totally coping. Are you though? Are you? I'm finally at a point I can just admit it. I'm not fucking coping. I'm faking it real well. But I hide myself in work. That is how I can have a podcast, help you run the shop, and then go, you know what I should do in my spare time? Start another shop. That's my coping mechanism. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh goodness.
I feel like we did snipe at one another at the top, and I don't like it, and I love you.
I love you too, baby girl.
You do? You're not mad at me?
I'm not mad at you. I'm just grumpy in general.
Okay, I just need you to know, start with the I'm just grumpy in general at the top of the sentence, because I'm not mad at you implies that there are other ways that you could be mad around, under, through, over, in between, like X year writer. You can think of some more of these. I can't think of even the term of what those words are.
Can you say overthinker?
Please? Hi, have we met?
Yeah, I know, right?
Are you new here?
Oh god.
Mally, I have on my little Etsy shop, there's a whole section of stickers, but I think I'm going to change the paper quality because they're cute, but they could be better. So I'm going to try new paper. I saw the comment go by real quick. My ears are my ears bright red? Is my face bright red?
The tip,
They're hot.
Yeah.
That's why I know that.
Having a hot flash.
Why do we need permission for me? Please don't fucking ask me for permission for no goddamn thing. Either I will like not be able to cope and will be like I'm brain broken, or I will decide to make all the rules. There's no in between. I am either a control freak or I can't handle it. Like just. I'll say this, Adriana. I don't know that I don't always talk fast, but I know that sometimes I talk fast, and I do wonder what that must sound like at 2 times the speed. But you are I don't want to say you're a slow talker. 1, that doesn't sound very nice, and 2, that's not quite what I mean. You're a deliberate speaker. Yeah. You actually try to think about what you're going to say before you say it. I am that reel and TikTok sound. I don't know what I'm going to say before I start saying. I just hope I find my way along the way or whatever.
You word vomit.
I do. It works well when the thoughts are already in my head. Not so well when they're not. So I could understand like 2 times the speed on you. You probably sound like quote normal, whatever that means. Yeah. But I wonder when I do start talking fast.
Oh gosh, you know what? I need to try that sometime. I need to go and watch one of our videos and wait till you get to a rant and speed it up. Wow.
Silent Wing, I know where the stereotype comes from that Southerners speak slow, because some Southerners do speak slow.
The Southern drawl.
It's a very Southern drawl. Yeah. But maybe it's my generation. Maybe it's the parts of the South that I lived in. But the the mostly Southern women that I spent my most formative years around, many of them spoke faster than I did when we got hyped up and excited. Like if we were being calm or pissed, slow talking. Excited, happy, ready to go, couldn't keep up with us, didn't know what we were saying. And I'm sure that's where I pick it up from. But I also know that the slower I'm talking, either the more uncertain I am or the angrier I am. Except a rant, and that's not the same thing as my anger. Like I get angry in a rant, but it's not the same kind of anger.
Chipmunk Kayla rants.
Look, if somebody can monetize that, let me know how, okay? Rah, I have heard that. Yeah. And I would believe that. I actually am so used to going full tilt the way I do that I get impatient when people are like, what did you say? Like, bitch, I don't know what I just said. I was hoping that you would catch a few of the words and we could keep going. But So, thank you, Yessie. I'm glad we could help. Oh, yeah, my words will sometimes slur together. Have they done that on the podcast before? I know that there are times when I'm talking to you or the boys, y'all don't have a clue what I'm saying, and not the speed. My words come out all jumbled.
They do.
They do. They come out all jumbled.
And X, I'm kind of the same way. I get loud.
Yes, you do.
Kayla met my family.
Oh my God. So first of all, let's back
New York.
up.
Okay.
Let's
New
back
York
up.
Italian.
Let's back up about loud. So loud is loud, subjective. New York Italian, yes.
Yeah.
I need you to understand my perspective. Southern. So polite Southerners don't get loud unless they're at a football game or there's a hunt or you're angry. And then I was raised by a Jersey boy who was raised by Italians. And he was the type, if he got quiet, you knew he was really angry. But for him, loud was not, that volume was anger. So childhood trauma. So that's what I think normal is. And then I walk into the house of your family and everybody's yelling at one another. And I'm like, I've heard of this before. I knew this was a thing. But I need to not be here right now. This is stressful. Why does everybody hate one another? And here's what's funny. Here's what I find ironic. They will all tell you with a straight face and mean it and could pass a lie detector test on it that they're loud because they're New York Italians and they love one another and this is how they show love. But if you get them off to themselves to talk about the others, no, they don't. They don't like one another, and I think that's why they're yelling at each other. I was like, look, I mean, okay. I mean, I know you like your sisters. You never really got loud with them. You get loud with your mom and your dad, who both get loud with you and everybody else. And I know, and part of it I get is you have to get louder. How can you be heard? Because everybody else is loud. So
well, and that's what I keep trying to tell you. You know, you get loud because the other is loud and that one's loud. And in order to be heard, you have to be loud.
I just wanted to get the fuck out of there. We were at your sister's for a barbecue, I think. Not a barbecue. No, not a barbecue. Your mom, your very Italian mom, made gravy and rice. To those of us who are not Italian, gravy is spaghetti sauce, okay? Red sauce. And it was literal rice. I'm like, but where's the spaghetti? I knew better than to ask that. I didn't know better than to ask that. But in my mind, I was like, wait, you're going to put spaghetti sauce on something other than spaghetti sauce? And then, of course, that was the moment I was like, oh, we Americans call it spaghetti sauce because it's like the only way we know to put it, even though it's marinara or whatever it's actually called in its country of origin, because I don't fucking know. I'm a heathen, whatever. And yeah, I just wanted to be anywhere that wasn't there. Oh God. I mean, everybody was really sweet, but y'all, I mean, to a person, y'all were yelling at one another, and I clearly was not yet welcome in the family because nobody was yelling at me, and I was okay with that.
And then, you know, you got to understand too, man, holidays were something else. Okay?
I can't even fucking imagine.
Because, you know, you get together for the holidays and you've got the entire immediate family, and then you've got cousins and second cousins and great aunts and great uncles, and, you know, you're sitting at this huge ass table that stretches almost the entire length of the house. So you have to yell from one end to the other, and yeah.
I remember years. It was weird. Weirdly, it was usually Easter, not Christmas, when the big family would get together. And we weren't religious, so I don't know why it was always Easter, but okay. And we thought having 9 people there was a lot. That's how small my family is. Also, I'm an only child, which also would explain why I am appalled when people just yell at one another as a natural form of communication. No. Me and my social anxiety could never. Okay, just could never. Okay, it is nearly 10, so I'm gonna scroll back up because I did see a question come through early on, and all I ask is that you not follow in X's footsteps with a rule. I feel like we should have our own rules and we don't need to copy anybody's rules. Okay. X, why do you put that in chat, man? Okay, I'm going to scroll, so I'm going to miss things that are being said, but I saw it. Oh gosh, y'all are chatty tonight. I love it. This is not complaining. This is just now I've got to scroll. Oh gosh, there was a chat about Chex Mix. Now I want some Chex Mix. Scroll. And I know I'm going to answer this question because I definitely saw it. If you also asked a question earlier and I don't answer it, just add us. And oh, I see 2. Okay. I see 2. Okay. So Living Well Anyway asks, kind of a deep question, how to balance baby girl little space with being a strong woman outside of your dynamic with your partner. You get attitude if I'm any indication.
Don't follow her example.
I am starting to come to the belief that there's no such thing as balance. I think it depends on the seasons of your life, and those are like the big seasons and even the little mini seasons of day to day. So if I was trying to strive for balance, does that mean that we'll use simple numbers, 50-50. 50% of my day is strong, independent woman, and 50% of my day is baby girl, little head space, mind space, physical space, like however that manifests for you. That's practically impossible. I know for me, when we are in a season of life where what is needed is for me to be the strong one and to have my shit together and you are always the decider because we're 24/7, but to be somebody who's like, here are my strong opinions. I'm problem solving. I'm working towards solutions, whatever. It's past last 6 months of 2021. That means in order to do that, certain times of life, the baby girl side of me just kind of gets pushed back a bit. What I have learned though is that what I have to do is make a conscious effort to give that side of myself space, even in like the last 6 months of the year when I didn't think I had time for it. I couldn't be bothered with it. This was not the right time. I had to make those times for myself. And the way we do it is I usually go to you and I'm like, hi, I'm struggling, or it's been too long, or I sometimes ask for it without asking for it explicitly. Like I'll say, I could really use a night where we just watch movies on the couch. Not gonna lie, do I think that waiting until I'm literally recovering for surgery to finally allow myself time and space to be my baby girl self is how you should do it? No, don't recommend. I think that because balance, in my opinion, is almost impossible. It's more about making a conscious effort. It's about saying, okay, what season in my life, or what season am I in for the day, the week, what's going on right now, and what will I do to give that part of myself space? One of the things I've also done so that I feel like I need less time to be in pure baby girl mode is I incorporate a lot of baby girl stuff and who I am as a baby girl into the flow of my interactions with you. So my interactions in business, my interactions parenting, my interactions doing things that aren't just you and I, JB and I interacting, or me being on the podcast, even though I sometimes am like a strong, independent woman there too. Allowing that interaction to be very much my baby girl self. So we could be having a very serious discussion and I will pout the fuck through it if I need to. Yeah, you will. I will giggle through it. I will, make puppy dog eyes. We will tease and play. And so if I have that outlet, I feel personally less need for compartmentalized kind of time for that. But if you don't have that, or that doesn't work, then I think it's almost like scheduling anything else you might do is like, where can you fit this in? And have you made that part of yourself a priority enough to create time and make time for it? Because we don't find time, we make time.
Yeah. And there have been a few times, I mean, as a partner who knows you and can kind of read your signs, there have been times I have said to you, it's like, oh, okay, I think it's time we need to shut down. Let's sit on the couch. We're going to flip on Disney and see what, movies we can find.
And we did that when I came home from the hospital, actually.
Yeah.
I loved Encanto. We've got to watch it again because there's bits and pieces I missed because apparently the Percocet was hitting real hard when we watched it. I love all the music. I can remember the music.
Yeah.
So that balancing, I just don't know that balancing is even a thing. Maybe some people can figure out how to balance, but balance implies 50-50. Equal opportunity for all the things. And the older I get, the more I find that every time I try to create balance in that sense, I'm more stressed out. I'm more frazzled. I get burnt out faster, easier. But part of it is prioritizing times, creating special times to have these moments, and also finding ways for subtler parts of specifically my baby girl side to be able to just sort of run free and wild in a very natural way that's not specific to an activity or a way of dressing or a place, just how you and I interact. That gives me that connection to it, even in the middle of a very stressful day or life. Does that hopefully make sense? We are also here for follow-up questions. I got to get to the second question that came in early, and then I'll scroll to the bottom for anybody who's chatting. Okay. Quentin Full asked, I got a cheap TENS unit. Curious if you have any recommendations. I remember you mentioning something about Easton before. We use, what is the name of that company? No, what is the name of that?
No.
What's the name of the company? Hold on. Talk, because you're the TENS unit guy.
You talk and I'll be right back.
But I have to go look. Are you going to go get it because it'll have the brand name on it?
Yeah.
We're going to answer your question when he comes back with the product, because I would go off to the distance that you can't see and get on my computer, because that's where the name of it is. I feel awful because I can see the logo in my head and I can see the products in my head and I can't remember the name. It's a little early. I hadn't even finished the first drink. I shouldn't be forgetting names. I'm going to scroll way down to the bottom now and see what else I missed while we're waiting for JB to come back with the product. So we have a name on that unit. What is Electrostim?
Electrostim.
Why did if Electrostim ever sees this, just know I really do love you. I just forgot for a second.
Now, a TENS unit works the same way on the same
Essentially,
line.
These are glorified TENS units, right?
And that's pretty much what this is. This is a glorified TENS unit. For a long time, I had a TENS unit that I used for my back.
That's what we used, yeah.
And that's what we used. Now, we didn't have availability to all the different attachments that you can get for this that they sell. Just had the pads because that's what I used. And, got creative with the pads at the time. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with using a TENS unit in and of itself.
No, and quite frankly, before companies like Electrostim and there's a couple others out there that I can vaguely think of, before they came around, you just use medical equipment, and some people
Pretty
still
much.
do. They don't go by specialty equipment. They use what they can find in a medical supply store or that their doctor prescribes to them. And there's definitely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And, I mean, as a base unit, this comes with the same type of pads that you would get with a...
We talked about this in a previous video. You've come full circle where your TENS unit was a medical device for your back that you kinked up.
Right.
And then we were very graciously gifted the Axis from Electrostim, and you retired your old TENS unit, and now you use that when you need help with your back, and it's become also your TENS unit.
Well, the TENS unit...
Did it die?
Yeah.
Oh, it died. Well, we sort of retired it. We buried it. We had a funeral. It was lovely.
Yeah.
But that's kind of funny now that it's good enough and it's designed in a way that I would not recommend as somebody who's like talks about products, you're not going to hear me recommend you trying Easton products with your TENS unit, but if you're brave enough, go for it and try it. I'm pretty sure that's not a good recommendation, but that's essentially a TENS unit, and if it's the same kind of plug, it might work, but I'm not officially recommending that at all. You do what you do on your own time. You did not hear it here to do that. Yeah. But I could see why somebody might be tempted. Because I think this is the most up-to-date version, but I don't know, has connectivity with software as well.
I believe so,
it updates.
Yes.
Yeah, it updates. Yeah. Okay, I've got to scroll back. Oh, sorry.
Now, Mr. Spock says that the TENS and the EMS units are similar but not identical.
Okay. And we will listen to medical professionals.
Yeah.
I just know there's some engineering level experimenters out there, and while I would never do that, I understand that some might. Okay, I hope I'm not missing any questions. The next question I see is from Safi Hawk of, have you ever gotten stuck in little space? No. And part of that is because I do not go into what I think I've seen most people identify as an actual little space, a headspace of, I don't identify with a specific age. I don't identify with specific activities. We don't do scenes, sexual or non-sexual, either way. We don't do scenes with me in any sort of little kind of headspace. My baby girl self, while I consider it to be under the umbrella of what it means to be a little, is very much an inherent part of my personality and not a fully different headspace than my day-to-day. It's bits and pieces of my personality that over time I had to hide away or had to mature too fast to really get to enjoy or get to experience. So they feel, it's very foreign to me to like freely giggle, to freely cry, to pout and, not relive bad stuff. But I am very capable, and to this day at least have always been, we can be on the couch and we're watching Disney movies and I'm very much feeling my baby girl self, and on a dime I switch to mom mode because there's a kid walking through. Or I can go from being super, super giggly and playful and on a dime switch to what bill needs to be paid when, let me go handle it. It's kind of a flow of my personality, so I don't have like a little space in the way I see some people define that. So there's nothing for me to get stuck in. I can get stuck in my feelings though, and maybe that's similar. Really, really good and really, really bad. So I can stay a little too hyper and giggly a little bit after the moment calls for it. Like when you're ready to kind of be done, I might go a couple of extra minutes and you have to give me like the voice for me to calm the fuck down. Not because I'm not feeling my baby girl self, but because you're like, we're done now. We're done. And what's funny is I go from being overly perky and overly cheerful to pouty. I'm still in baby girl space, but I'm quieter. And I have a couple times allowed myself to cry or pout or whine and exceeded your tolerance level for that. I'm not stuck in that space, but I'm also not reading cues, which maybe could be defined as somebody as being stuck in that headspace. But again, the moment I get something that clarifies my mind for me, I'm out of it. I can switch, go back and forth. I'm not sure how helpful that is, but yeah. Have you ever, am I misremembering anything? Do you feel like I've ever been sort of stuck in that?
No.
Okay.
No, not that I can think of.
Tomcat asked, how many drinks are we at now? We are still nursing our first one. I'm afraid to drink mine too fast because you're going to make me wait. You don't have to smile so evilly, It's unbecoming of you.
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm scrolling. I've missed so much chat. I'm kind of... I'm scrolling. Apparently there's a bid going on with what you will hit me with. I'm kind of liking this setup, and I'm also sad because you're gonna have to be very careful if you want to smack me with something, because you don't want to knock over glasses, mics, or anything else. Yeah. Let's see. Musings of a Weirdo asked, I just went through a rough breakup with my dom after finding out he'd been cheating the whole time. I am so fucking sorry. That was shitty. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Do you have any tips for healing from betrayal and learning to trust again? Oh, we went under the table? No, I don't like that
Yeah,
either.
I went under the table.
I'm going to answer a serious question now. So, I never feel like I have good tips for dealing with trust issues, especially when they come from betrayal, because I famously still embrace all my trust issues. They've been very protective for me and mostly have worked in my favor. But when it comes to the healing part, especially from it not being we were incompatible and had the grown-up conversation that we were going to part ways, you were lied to and you had to find out, and now like everything blew up in whatever way it blew up. My biggest tip is always to give yourself the space and time and freedom and grace to grieve and to feel what you feel. So if you're sad, feel sad. If you're angry, and man, if you are, I think you're completely justified, be angry. And to know that none of that's linear. So it's not like for these 5 minutes you're going to be sad and then you'll be done with that and you move on to anger and you'll be done with that and you'll move on to the next emotion. Like, no, it's all wibbly wobbly and gunky and confusing, and it just is that way. But I think too many of us think, well, we should ourselves. I shouldn't feel this way, or I should feel this way. And so we try to repress how we feel, or we try to act like it doesn't matter, or we try to find justifications why we should somehow feel a different way. And we don't just sometimes sit with the hurt, or it's just too painful and we don't want to feel bad. And so we try to run away from those feelings. And I don't want anybody to get stuck in bad feelings, but I think you have to feel them. You have to honor them and go, yeah, this fucking sucks. I'm also a huge proponent of finding the friends that you feel comfortable, like, talking about that stuff with, even if you can't talk about kink, or maybe they're your kinky friends and you can. And hell, if you have a night where you just bash the asshole while you're drinking wine and eating ice cream or whatever your, thing of choice is, I'm also here for that too. That's cathartic. The hard part, and the part where I don't have any good advice other than to be mindful of it, is to try not to get stuck there. Because when you get stuck there and you can't allow yourself to move on, and you dwell on this shitty thing that happened to you and how angry you are and how hurt you are and how betrayed you are and whatever it is you're feeling, it will permeate every other part of your life, and every other part of your life may start to feel more negative because you're in this space that you have not moved on from. But moving on from it is also a thing that takes the time it takes. And so it's a really squishy, not great answer. Do you have tips? I mean, betrayals are not a sub thing or a dom thing. They're an everybody thing.
Yeah.
We've all been there on some level in some way. What do you do that's not destructive?
I guess for me, initially, to kind of help work through it, I kind of find myself a distraction.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love a good distraction. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are times I'll start binge watching shows, or dive into a video game a little deeper.
Businesses.
Start new businesses, yeah.
That's a problem.
To kind of help work through it. I think for me, the biggest thing when things like that have happened have been self-care.
Sure. And doing things that are good for you. Because we too often we talk about self-care as like the bubble bath and the eating a whole cheesecake. And hey, if that's what makes you feel good, please do it. But also self-care is I took my vitamins, I went on that walk, I paid my bills on time, I did the things that take care of myself that don't make my life burn down further around my ears. So self-care is definitely not a one thing or another. It's all the things.
I mean, it's different for everybody.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I also think there's the indulgent self-care that's very airbrushed and lots of candles in the background. And then there's the practical self-care.
Yeah.
Like, I need to get my oil changed in my car, so I'll continue to have a car that runs. Like, is a mundane, boring part, but it's important. And then I also think I did this before I met you. And I know now, I see it now as a protective thing, but it allowed me to get back out there and let myself meet people, even though I hadn't quite stopped hurting yet. I wanted to meet people I still had that desire, but I was too tender on the inside. So what I did, because denial is a powerful thing, I told myself, and I did mean it at the time, that anybody I met, it was going to be casual. I was not getting into a serious thing. They did need to be a D type. I knew that much. But we were casual. I was not committing to any damn body. When you and I started talking, I was going out on dates here, there, and yonder.
You were.
And that's actually not my normal way of doing anything, but I didn't say it as a Band-Aid to try and convince myself of something. I believed it. And what was funny was the person that came into my life, named John Brownstone, who was meant to stay and was a good fit for me, understood and went, okay, do what you got to do. And, you know, was willing to kind of meet me where I was. And where I was when we first met was, I just want friends, or I just want casual, or I'm not committing to anything. I am too raw. I can't handle that. And because I did have trust issues, you were willing to work with those. You were willing to, I think, you know, it helped that I say they were like 6 foot thick concrete walls, but really there were windows, there were doors. I would open them up a little bit, peek out.
You'd crack them, yeah.
Right. And I let you in slowly but surely, but it's because you worked to be allowed in. So like, that's why I don't automatically think trust issues are always inherently bad, because I want to be with the person who goes, whoa, she's a hot fucking mess, but I'd like her to be my hot fucking mess. What have I got to do to get there? You know?
One of the things that I did, and a lot of people at the time thought I was kind of off the wall about it, but you know, I got to a point, I had hid myself away for a while. And I decided, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. And even though I was not seeing anybody, I made myself go out. I would pick a restaurant and go out to dinner by myself. I would go to a movie by myself. Hell, I even went to concerts a few times.
Yeah.
By myself. You know, one, it got me out of the house. Two, I was doing things I genuinely enjoyed. And I didn't care if I was with anybody or not. I was just doing things that I enjoyed to do. And that helped immensely.
I think being willing to just kind of come out of a protective bubble is a sign that you're ready for more, that you're healing at a point where it's not just the internal, I hurt and I have to protect myself. And quite frankly, coming out of that protective bubble, even if it's in pursuits that have nothing to do with relationships, that's what opens you up to potentially meeting somebody. Not oh, we bumped into one another at the grocery store and they dropped the milk on my foot, and isn't this a rom-com kind of fucking meeting? Like, we're not a Hallmark fucking movie around here, right? Yeah. But just, I'm not ready to figure out what I believe about the idea of setting intentions and manifestation. And what I see online is a little too woo-woo for me personally. But I do think there's something to putting it out into the universe, right? And because if you are at a point in the grief process where you're like, okay, I'm not stuck in this grief. Maybe I'm still hurt. Maybe I'm still mad. Maybe I don't trust no fucking body right now. But I'm not hiding away. I'm ready to move through the world again. There's something about the moving through the world in that physical way, whether it's an online world or an in-person world, that sort of like sets you up for these opportunities in places you couldn't fathom necessarily, where you will be open maybe to the person who, you know, messages, and it's not one of those stupid sup messages like, and you're like, I'm open to replying to this message. And that's when something sometimes magical can happen. I mean, I don't know that for myself or anything. It's not like that happened to us or anything, but it's not that it wouldn't have happened if I'd been closed off. I wouldn't have responded to it if I'd still been closed off.
True.
because opportunities present themselves all the time.
Sure.
But it's about where your head's at, of whether you can see it as an opportunity and or take it as an opportunity. So when you start sort of physically putting yourself out there in that process of dealing with hurt and betrayal, when an opportunity presents itself, you're in a headspace where you can maybe act on it, and maybe that's how you meet somebody, or you make a new kink friend, or you learn a new kink, or you move across the state with your 2 children and, you know, end up as an old married lady drinking alcohol on the internet and calling that a job. Like, I mean, shit happens. Shit happens. I am going to make a request, because I am struggling to find questions. When you have a question you want us to answer, do the @LovingBDSM in the live chat so I can see that much easier. But I am going back up, I'm scrolling through, and if I miss a question, like if I go over you, it's because I didn't see you re-ask it, and just tag us. That would be very helpful. I'm scrolling. Because I am such a people pleaser, I will feel really shitty if I miss somebody's question. Let's see. I'm scrolling, y'all. I'm scrolling. That's the only downside to this, is I'll never be able to keep up with chat. Y'all are going to have some really interesting conversations, and I'm going to miss them all. And the nosy part of me is like, but I don't want to miss them all. Let's see. I'm scrolling.
Huh. I'm done with my drink. Too
Oh,
bad
okay.
you're not done with yours. You don't get one. you didn't suck the ice cubes clean.
I apologize for snorting in the microphone. I don't apologize for snorting. I guess we'll call these drunk Q&As from now on. I'm not drunk. It's one drink. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm still scrolling, y'all.
Oh, I gotta see that again.
Oh, you're gonna sit and watch it?
Yes. It was freaking hilarious.
Oh god.
Oh.
I'm still scrolling, y'all. Y'all were very chatty, and I love that about you, but I'm pretty sure I might have missed some questions. And but without the tags, it all looks the same. And we already talked about it at the top. I'm like, I got old lady eyes now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, I think I cannot see. Whew. I cannot see any more questions. So if you know you asked a question and I'm not answering it, retype it out and tag me @LovingBDSM. Oh my god. And I can now see in the live chat where that whole thing just caught up to on the delay. I'm hot as shit, y'all. Oh my god. Between all of that, I'm so damn hot. So, Adriana, I will say that I'm probably the worst person to answer that, because, like I said, for me, my baby girl self is an inherent part of my personality. A new person is not going to get to see it until I'm comfortable with them. That's a coping mechanism from 40 plus years. So for me, there's no real introducing it to them except as a concept of, hey, I've got what I call a baby girl side, and this is what that can look like. Can you handle that? For those who have a little side that's very much a separate part of who they are from their non-kink life or their adulting life, or their big space and their little space, or like there's a clear difference, whether it's through activities or attitude or voice or however that manifests. I would say in some ways you have to introduce it like you introduce any kink you've got. Like, hi, I like this thing, or I am this thing. Can you handle that? I would imagine, and somebody out there will know better than I do, I have a feeling that when it's a little space kind of thing, you're doing a lot more educating, because there's a lot of misconceptions even in the kink community about what that is. And I will continue to say that the right partner for you, even if they don't get it, they'll go, okay, tell me more, or okay, I'm confused but willing to listen. And because the right partner for you will honor the fact that that's who you are, and they don't have to understand it or even be into it yet because they don't understand it to get it. I could see if you're a single little and you will only go for caregiver types who understand what being a little like has the concept of that, I would not blame you, because personally it's the reason I after I realized I was submissive, I would only exclusively date people who identified as dominant, because I was not here to educate. I was like, no, I'm already new enough. I need somebody who has a clue. I don't want to do that emotional labor. I don't want to go through that. And I think that's a valid choice to make. That does sometimes narrow the dating pool. But yeah, I think that you introduce it like you introduce any other part of your kink personality, any part of any other role you might inhabit, but then be prepared to educate and be prepared for judgy fucking Judgersons to go, ew, that's, and all the awful things they say about being a little. But I don't want anybody to be judged that way, but also tell me who you are right then, because then I can make a decision that you can move on your merry way and I'll go find somebody who's not like that. But that's just my jaded self. The question, in case you have some insight, is how do you introduce your middle or little side when your partner is new to the lifestyle? How you as a dom, I mean, we figured out I was baby girl before you admitted you were daddy.
Yeah.
Right. But before you kind of understood that you were daddy, what do you think you might have needed to have somebody introduce that to you? Or you didn't have relationships with anybody who was a little in that way before me, right? Okay.
No, I didn't. I think for me, it was a little bit easier because I had already been a part of the lifestyle and immersed in the community.
But there are a lot of people who've been in the lifestyle 20, 30 years and still think the most negative shit about caregiver little. Words I won't even say on this live stream, but we all know what the hell I mean.
Yeah. I think for me it was the fact that I was open to different things. I mean, I was having a conversation with somebody today about age regression.
Sure, which I would not speak on that either because I cannot.
Yeah. And, I mean, I openly admitted to them, I said, I know I have heard the term. A lot of people talk about it. There are a lot of people who are into it, who do it. I know little to nothing about it. And they asked, well, are you adverse to it? Because apparently a lot of people, are. They are adverse to it. And like,
they have a reaction to it.
A very strong reaction to it. And I was like, no, I'm not adverse to it, but not knowing anything about it, I would need to...
Because you can't make a decision about what you would do with it if you don't even know what it is.
Right.
It's informed consent at that point.
Right. And I think it's the same thing with that, introducing somebody to something like that. They would need to kind of give them an understanding of what it is and what it's about.
Right. And I think that's what goes back to what I was saying is you have to, if you're going to have to introduce that to somebody who maybe is not at all familiar with it, and even if you're just learning about it yourself, you have to be prepared to know that you're going to have to do the one educating them, pointing them to resources or explaining what it means to you. And quite frankly, the best sign of whether this is gonna work is if they're at least open to the concept, and sort of like JB is talking about, like, I can't even form an opinion on it because I don't know what it is, or can you explain that to me, or right? Like, as long as the response is not ew, gross, or something like that, because quite frankly, maybe it is my trust issues. If I tell you some deep, personal, meaningful thing about my identity and my kink world and what I need to feel fulfilled as a human being, and your reaction is to go ew, gross, the conversation's done. You could come back later and go, I was wrong, I apologize. I'm a Scorpio fucking bitch. I'll forgive, I don't forget. It's impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would look for is I want to talk to you about this thing. I'm a huge fan of you set a time to talk, you plan it, you schedule it, whatever, so that it can be as distraction free as possible. Depending on the sensitivity of like the adult nature of how you plan to explain this, you pick a good place that you can have that conversation comfortably, whether that's in private or semi-private or whatever. You definitely don't spring it on somebody. Like, I would like to talk to you about a thing that is important to me. When can we sit down and have this conversation, right? And then you introduce it slowly. You introduce a concept that about it that is important to you, or that's really exciting to you, or the thing that you love most, or whatever. Like, you pick a point and you start, because you got to start somewhere. And you slowly have the conversation, and to the best of your ability, you try not to info dump on somebody, because that's usually where they get overwhelmed and they're like, I can't tell you anything because my brain is now full of all the things you just said. And so sometimes that means you have multiple conversations and you come back to it and you're like, hey, here's what you need to know, bare bones basics about this. I'm here if you have questions. We don't have to talk about it now. If you want to like walk away and think about this, that's fine. And that's how I would do that. Am I capable of giving a quick answer to anything?
No.
Fuck. I'm sorry, y'all.
Okay. And a number of people caught my use of the window for passing.
My favorite is selling fancy ass YouTubers in their fancy houses.
We just got lucky that this room used to be a Florida room /
I won't show you our bathrooms, and I don't mean the state of them like they're dirty. If you just sit in a fancy ass YouTuber house, the bathrooms are not cute enough for that. I go to sleep at night, and before I can sleep, I lay awake thinking about how we desperately need to redo the bathrooms and can't.
Right.
Not gonna. I'm drinking now. I cannot let myself get stressed out. I'll start crying. Okay.
All right.
Mally asks, any advice on balancing different aspects of your personality in a dynamic? I'm a sub and into power exchange obedience, yet at the same time I can slip into bratty subspace sometimes. I have gone through stages of this. So early days, when past the point of I understood I was submissive and I wanted to be obedient and I wanted to be in a power exchange, and as I was figuring out that, oh, I'm definitely a baby girl and I've got the sassy side and I've got way too many opinions and I love to talk, and I don't know if y'all have noticed, and also is balancing the side that was like, I'm gonna start my own business, I'm gonna move my kids, I'm a mom now and I'm actually at home with one of them all fucking day, like had all woo. There were all these different parts of me, and at that time, I actually compartmentalized them. There were parts of my day that were dedicated to work mode, mom mode, submissive mode, and quite frankly, baby girl side kind of had to have her moment. I did not find a way to merge the baby girl side and the obedient submissive side into one until I got super, super comfortable. So my initial way was everything had its own space, and I would get really upset because the nature of life being what it was, those neat compartmentalizations didn't work. There were a lot of times I couldn't separate myself like that. It just didn't make sense most of the time. And so then at that point, I got comfortable moving in and out of those headspaces. It's like you and I can be having this deep connection as a power exchange couple, and I can hear a noise in another room. I know I hear the cat, and my head will whip around and I'm in mom mode, and I'll finish with whatever that child is doing, and I come back and I look at you, and I'm in sub mode. That took a long time to get to. Now, in terms of being compatible with a partner, this is easier said than done, and I understand that. Partners gonna have to get used to it. This is part of who you are. However you figure out how to balance, I'll go back to that word that I don't even think exists, how you figure out how to manage those different sides of you. I don't think it would have worked long term if you did not find my sassy side as fun or good or whatever as you find my submissive side.
Well, I mean, that's something to me, and that's an individual thing, just like not everybody likes brats.
Absolutely.
Okay? to me, your sassy side, there may be some people that, oh, how can you put up with her being so sassy? I love it. I think it's great. I think it adds to our dynamic. It keeps it fun. It keeps it exciting. It brings about, in some aspect, the ability to bring on some punishment.
Well, just your sadistic side. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I leaned down to pet Onyx.
We have a parade of cats coming through here.
Yeah. But, I realized once I was with you, I had been with you for a while, and I had started to merge my baby girl side with my service submissive side. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that means I'm serving as a submissive and I'm sassing at the same time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's that switch back and forth from one situation to the next. Depends on what's going on. Did Onyx almost fall in the trash can?
No,
Probably.
she pulled it down.
But what I realized, we'd been together. I think we were still LDR when I realized this. In my previous relationship, that Dom did not like sass. Wanted obedience, liked that I was independent, and liked that I had opinions and ambition and goals and drive. But what I understood of him at the time, oh no, my sass, and quite frankly, I wouldn't have called it sass at the time because I didn't think of it this way, but my sass got me in trouble in that relationship. And what I realized is, as I grew into who I was more and more and figured out more of myself and embraced more of myself, that relationship would have died eventually anyway, because I would have had to close off an entire part of who I was. Mm-hmm. I think there's nothing wrong with between you and a partner negotiating to set parameters around, okay, there are times when, no, that baby girl sass, bratty, whatever, you're going to have to clamp down on it. I can't handle it this time. But guess what? This time, go for it. I'm here for it. Whether that's a signal or a code word or a literal structured time. Some people need that. I'm fortunate, and I think this is the type of partner I need. You're like, be who you are as long as you're respectful, which is why the sass gets me in trouble sometimes.
And that's one thing I told her, because, the sass can get out of hand.
I mean, it's not on purpose. I'm not trying to be not a good girl. I'm not. Actually trying.
There are times she gets kind of... Yeah.
I'm a delight. Okay, I'm a fucking delight.
And I just raise an eyebrow and she knows she's gone too far.
And that's another part of it. So I can fall into, for what it is for me, that very baby girl, sassy, I'm all over the place self. But because of the relationship we've built together and the signals that we've taught one another, I get the look, which is my daddy giving me a look while I'm in baby girl mode, and I respond as baby girl, and then something happens in my brain and I also respond as obedient submissive, because that's also a part of who I want to be. And I think it's a practice thing, and I think it's a finding your rhythm with your partner.
Yeah.
And I think it's a listening to your partner, because they get to have boundaries around this. Like, they need to embrace that is who you are, but they can also go, okay, there are times when we have to figure this out. Like, there's got to be a way to separate this a little bit, or I can't handle it during these times, but I can handle it. That kind of stuff is real, and you have to have those conversations. But it's mostly a practice thing. The more you're with somebody or with partners who like that part of you, the more I think you find ways to just naturally be who you are, and it starts to commingle together in its own fun way.
Thank you, Maddie. Now I have that song Afternoon Delight stuck in my head.
Okay, Shelby asks,
okay,
how do you remain calm when you disagree with things people are spewing on the web, i.e. submissives have no power? So who says I remain calm? Actually, I have become calm about it. And so there's two sides to this. There's the part of me that has all the freedom in the world and has no care in the world to turn when JB has the bandwidth to listen to me and go, can you believe this fucking motherfucker over here? Like, I got words and I got thoughts. Then there's the other part of me that's like, who do I want to be on the internet? I'm not getting into arguments with people on the internet.
Yeah.
Nobody goes to the internet for real and spews that kind of bullshit because they want their mind changed. I don't have time for it. I don't have the energy for it. So I have my outlet where I can, if it makes me angry, I can be angry. I have I think we both do at this point. It's almost a benefit. It's also a curse of having spent so much time witnessing these conversations, having these comments made at us, being part of the online discussion, that I didn't think it would happen, but it seems to, knock on wood, have happened. I'm immune to some of it now. Not all of it. Some of it can still piss me off. And it much of it rises to the level of an eye roll. Like, okay, this again. I don't recommend that as a way to get over it, because that's a not an always comfortable time to have on the internet. It can make you not want to be there anymore. But I decided to make it our job, so here we are. Yeah. But I'm able to go, well, they're a fucking idiot, and I move on with my day now.
And I mean, for me, I look at it, and I mean, I have been around the internet since it was 2 wires and a tin can.
Yeah, I'm not that far off.
Or a wire and 2 tin cans, I should say, and. You know, I go to her and I vent and I get it off my chest, and I try to move on, because you can't change everything, and there are times you are better about it now. There was a time I would have to tell you, okay, time for a social media break.
Sure. And I am a huge advocate of those. When the internet is pissing you off, walk away from the internet for a few minutes.
Because
it'll be okay. It'll be there when you get back.
You know, early on, these things used to get under your skin.
Because I was in this mode of learning how to explain myself,
right,
and this concept of kink and the way I see it to the world. And so I did have that thing of, I'm clearly not being nuanced enough, and if I just explain it in a little more detail, people will get it better. I'm over that now. I mean, I still explain in detail, but the thought process is over that.
And you know, telling her to take a social media break was a good thing. So you know, that's something too. You know, I had to do that numerous times. I use Facebook under my given name, keep in contact with family. I have, coming from an Italian family, I got family all across the freaking country.
You didn't even know about till Facebook.
Yeah. They're crawling out of the woodwork. And there have been times on Facebook I've had to step away, close it out, walk away, and be done with it.
Because there's more to life than what's happening on the internet. So, and we know that, but I think it's easy to get sucked into it, especially when somebody else's shitty opinion feels like an attack on us. And part of how I've gotten to a place where I go, well, that's just a shitty opinion and it doesn't affect me. It doesn't change anything about me. Is the fact that I finally kind of understood, one, people who spew their opinions like that on the internet are not looking to have their mind changed. Two, I started digging in deep as to why comments that I saw that might have been about me as a submissive in a generic sense, but weren't even said to me, why I was so defensive about that. And it was because I felt like I had to defend myself. I can't give you a step-by-step process of how I got here. At some point, by magic, I got to the point where I understood myself well enough and I was confident and comfortable with myself down to the most granular level of my soul that what they say doesn't affect me. It doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change how I think about kink. It doesn't change how I think about myself. So their opinion can have no literal effect on me. So I also don't like those opinions. I don't like the unhealthy things I see, and I don't like the negative things I see, but also I don't get angry at them. Because I know for all of the opinions I see of that, whether they post it on my shit on the internet or they post it somewhere else, I know how many comments I'm getting or how many emails I'm getting or how many people are reaching out to go, I saw myself in what you were talking about. You helped me. This is me. I identify with this. I do a self-check of, am I just surrounding myself with people who agree with me? Because you want to be careful about echo chambers. But knowing that my lived experience, which nobody can take away from me, they can try to deny it all they want, but that doesn't mean anything. This is my lived experience. Knowing that nothing anybody said could affect how I felt about that. And I was getting the validation of other people going, no, I see this. I go through this. Whatever. I go, okay, there's another one. Okay. Every once in a while, It happened the other night on Instagram. Somebody can say something in just the wrong way. I'm not actually angry. I'm kind of fed up, and I will respond back, but not to the hate and not to the subs have this or subs don't do this or all doms is that I don't like anyway. But more of a thing that they're trying to say about me. Most of the time I ignore. Every once in a while, get a wild hair at my ass. And it's never confrontational. I'm not arguing with people on the internet. It's not happening. It's not happening.
It's not worth it.
This is not a debate. My life is not a debate. My experience is not a debate. This is not a debate. But every once in a while, somebody will say just the right/wrong thing, and I'll respond. But then I'm done. I said what I said. I'm going to go be who I am and do what I do. The thing that helps me, though, and I think this could help anybody, and not just people who think about this for a living 24/7, is having community. Is knowing that there's a place you can go, whether it's here in live chat on YouTube, or it's a Discord, or it's a this or that, where you are accepted for who you are. The thing that is most meaningful to you, and in our case, it's Power Exchange / BDSM, however you label it, and it's accepted. And we might be different, and we might not understand each other's perspectives, but we respect that. And if you've got a space like that, I have found it's much easier to go, yeah, you're a dumbass. I'll be over here with my actual people who they're not that. And I think that's helpful too. That's another reason why we haven't done an episode on this in a long time, but for a while we did a lot of things about you need a community. You need a community.
Yeah.
I don't care if there are 5 people you talk to on Twitter. That's a community.
I always talk about community. I get so many people that reach out to me about different things, and some may say, it's all about communication. No, it's the other C, community. Whether you find a community online right now, or, that's why to me, and I know not everybody's experience is the same. For me, when I came into the lifestyle and I found a community, I was welcomed with open arms. People answered my questions. People talked to me. People, made me feel welcome, that I wasn't alone in the things that I do. And that community became my home for many, many years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a very sad day when we moved.
Yeah. And, even when we moved here, that was one of the first things I did, was to begin seeking out a community. And, I have found that community, and I embrace those folks. It is a wonderful group. It is a big group.
And I think that's a thing to point out, that sometimes you have the bigger the group of people, the more opinions you've got. And the fact you're not going to see eye to eye with everybody in your community. Look, we need to deal with toxic people who try to bring harm to others through word, deed, or otherwise. But within a community, you can kind of have your sub community of your peeps, your people, your close circle. Figure out your close kink circle. Those are the people that you can bitch to when you see something stupid on the internet. Screenshot that shit and go, can you believe this fucking shit? Yeah. They're also the people who will remind you that, no. What you're doing is good. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're not alone in this. And I think that makes a difference too.
Absolutely.
Next question is for you.
All right.
Andre wants to know, how do you deal with or address people who seem to treat you like a kink dispenser?
Boundaries.
You don't really fool with too many people like that. You're you can go now.
I don't. I've kind of dealt with it for such a long time. Wasted a lot of time with people like that. And it finally comes down to, now it is a hard boundary for me. If you think I'm here to just dispense kink, move along. I don't have time to play games. I am more than open to, finding someone to play with. You know that. And I have no problem with that, but I am not just here to dispense kink at your whim.
Yeah, no. I like the fact that I think people have these assumptions about who you are because you're fairly quiet, you're really mild-mannered, easygoing. But 1, you have strong boundaries. 2, that a New York Italian comes out sometimes. Okay. Mally, I'm going to address this briefly just because we have actually had this big, long conversation about this before. Mally asked, I'm so curious about being a baby girl without wanting age play. that's who I am. I don't do it. But if you want to kind of know more about how that works for me, if you go to our website, lovingbdsm.net, the link is in the description box, and find the search bar and type in baby girl. I think I do it as all one word everywhere. Type it in. Everything we've ever said about me being a baby girl will come up, and there is absolutely either a blog post or a podcast episode where we had that conversation about what that means to me. Because I, for a long time, felt really weird about even trying to be under the little umbrella because I don't at all identify with the way I see most littles talking about being a little on the internet. And I was like, am I allowed here? So if you are curious about that, that is there. Okay, let me scroll. Okay. Gabrielle asks, who's sleeping on the bed? Ella is sleeping on the bed. Okay. That is not what Gabrielle asked. I'll ask, if I may ask, and you may, how old are you guys individually and what's the age difference? So I'm 42.
60.
18 years.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because when I told my mom, I worried she would be worried, which you have to understand why that would be ironic. My father was 19 years older than my mother, and they married when she was 18. And looking back, there were some issues there. But so I did have that moment. I thought, oh, she's going to be worried. She's going to have a comment. My mom's not one to like tell me what she thinks I should do with my life, but she has this way about her where you know she's silently judging you. I am not
Southern thing.
I have not inherited that. I will out loud judge you. My facial expressions speak volumes. And she went, of course he's 18 years older than you. You don't know how to be with somebody your own damn age. Nah. The closest I got was 7 years older than me. And I divorced his fucking ass because he was too immature for me. It's not an age thing. It was the other things. But
well, when we first started getting to know each other, I tried to discourage you. I'm like, look, I'm.
Y'all, I am big on research. I'm big on getting your facts straight before you make decisions. Let me tell you the series of questions I asked. How old are your parents? How old were your because I knew your grandparents had died by this point. Yeah. How old were your grandparents when they died? Oh, you've mentioned your great-grandparents in childhood memories. How old were they when they died? If you think I wasn't thinking about it, it would not. You know, it's funny. It would not have made the difference between did I fall in love with you and want to be with you or not. But it was reassuring when he kept going, oh, my great-grandparents were 99 or 98. My grandmother was 99.
I felt like a freaking stud horse.
Look, it's called research. Okay, look it up. I may or may not have asked about, health when they died as well. Look, there's a rubric and everything gets its own weight and point system. Those were not major points, okay? They were like fractions of a point. But it all counts. And we were on our little date tonight, and I was like, wait, how old was your... Because you were telling me a memory about your great-grandfather. I'm like, how old was he when he died?
When we were eating up on the TV, they had the horse races, specifically the trotters, which brought back a memory of my great-grandfather. He loved the horse races, and when I was a young kid, he took me up to Saratoga Springs to watch the trotters.
Let me help you.
Put that back. Put that back.
I bumped your mic. I'm sorry for the mic sound. I just want to help you. Go ahead. I totally deserve that. Mr. Spock asks, speaking of questions, how's Lola and how are Lola and the kitties getting along lately since we never did get the Lola came working? Lola is sleeping on the love seat.
Yeah.
Ella is sleeping on Lola's bed. Onyx is in hiding after she knocked over the trash can because that made her nervous.
They are all doing great. Ella, I posted a picture in our Discord the other day. She has taken to sleeping in Lola's crate in the living room now. But yeah, they're doing good. They're doing good.
They are. This thing bumped. Okay, I'm trying to get to questions. The tagging does help, but then I'm still scrolling and then it's still bumping. So I'm scrolling. Okay. Oh, thanks, Shelby. Yeah, I don't know how it happened that I got so comfortable with myself, but I'm damn glad I did. I still have way too many fucks to give. I'd like to have 0. Actually, I don't think that's true. I think it's okay to have a fuck or 2 to give. I mean, you care.
Yeah.
But I have way too many. Like, I'm just handing them out like fucking candies. Like Tic Tacs. Like, you want one of my fucks? Here's one of my fucks. And I need fewer fucks. Those things should be precious.
And you take a fuck. And you take a
fuck for you. And a fuck for you. It's not good for anybody. Musings of a Weirdo asked me, how did I feel or know that I was ready to share and educate about kink? I'm interested in, but I'm worried about messing up and potentially causing harm. So first of all, the fact that you're worried about it and concerned about it means you're going to be fine. Because the people who cause the most harm think they're fucking right every moment of the fucking day, and I don't have tolerance or time for them. That being said, I started out by and to this day, I kind of still do this. It was a bit of a coping mechanism, and it's just how I got started. I started out talking about my experience because there's plenty to learn about kink and even how I talk about kink and how I talk about people. And I've definitely come a long way from those early days about how I talk about these things. But the one thing I was sure of is because I worried I would get internet hate or that I might cause harm or that I'd offend somebody because I'd say something wrong. And the one thing I was sure of is that regardless of people's opinions about the topic, they could not argue with my own experience because I lived that experience. They could tell me there are better ways to say it. They could educate me on vocabulary, but they could not negate my experience. They could try, but they couldn't. So I started there. And for years, and truly still to this day it happens, when I try and frame my thoughts about how I think kink should go, how I think power exchange should go, I always try to ground it in my experience and my view, because one, that leaves lots of space and room for differing opinions, for different viewpoints, for another way to do something. And also, you can't take away my lived experience. My way might not be your way, but my way is a way. And so that's why there are certain topics we won't talk about. If I can't ground it in something I know or you know, JB, who is off thinking over there, just letting me go. If we can't ground it in our experience on some level, I'm not comfortable talking about it. Because I'm not a kink scholar. I'm not doing a ton of research, and I will research something if a concept strikes me and I want to talk about a concept, but I need to be able to relate it back to what I know, and I know me. And I think if you start from that place and then educate yourself along the way, then, and you continue to know that you will fuck up and you will say something wrong, or you will misunderstand a thing, or there will be a better way to have presented facts about something, and then you adjust and correct and apologize when you're wrong, you're going to be fine. The thing is we all in the kink community learn from each other's experiences. What did help me be a little bit more like, let's talk about, here's what I think you should do, which is still hard for me because I'm always like, oh God, I'm trying to assume I know somebody's experience, and I just, I was reading all of these books that were kind of basic books, but, known writers and longtime kinksters who were saying things much more eloquently and less wordy that I had been saying. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm on the right track. These are people I respect. I agree with their opinion on how they're viewing kink, and they're saying the things I've said. Okay, I'll take some validation. Thank you for that. And then also it's the feedback of the people who take in your content. If we didn't have y'all here to go, I've learned something, this has helped me, this opened up a conversation for me, this gave me something new to think about, then I would have to be doing something different. Because we are only doing this for our greater kink community, to share what we know in hopes that somebody else can take, maybe not word for word, but like there's a grain of something in a topic or in a conversation. You go, that sparks a thought, that sparks a conversation. Then we go off and have our own conversation with our lived experience and our view of the world. And the way we got to an endpoint in our relationship or a thing in our relationship is less important than the fact that we did and shared it with you helped you go talk about it with your partner or your friends or your community, and you found your own way.
I was dragged into this kicking and screaming.
You were. You've embraced it.
I have.
Now that we can get you to say whole sentences and speak into the microphone.
Hang on. I just want to say one thing. Folks, we love each and every one of you. And we are so grateful you are here. But please, we want to keep you here. And doing a shot with every rant or every F-bomb that she... That
I don't have enough liability insurance for that. Okay.
Yeah, please. We love you. We love having you here joining us. We want to keep you around.
We would like
please
you to
don't.
stay alive
Please
and healthy
don't.
and not in a hospital. Please do not give yourself alcohol poisoning trying to keep up with anything I'm doing. Andre asks, what does my shirt say? It says, roll me in fairy dust and call me a unicorn. I got it from the Rural King. I can't even say the fucking word rural, but that's where I bought it from. Okay. So that is a good question. I am now down to about a quarter of my drink. How is it 11 o'clock and I was only halfway through? It's because I kept ranting. And if I'm drinking and ranting, then I'm choking. And then we're back to a very strange ASMR that I don't think anybody signed up for. That being said, will I be allowed to have a third drink? Would you like me to help you with your drink?
I'm doing fine with my drink.
I can help. I'm very helpful. I live to serve, Daddy. I'm trying so hard not to snort into the microphone. I'm going to keep scrolling.
Look for more questions, girl.
I am. Oh, my God. Am I the only one who's not a Nickelback hater? Like, they're not like my favorite band ever, but they're fine. They're fine. They're fine. Sorry, y'all. I was looking at your chat. I'm scrolling. Oh my God. I'm scrolling. Jesus, it keeps jumping. Sorry, y'all. I am looking for the tags. I mean, we have figured that.
X, I don't drink American beer as a rule either.
Tastes like piss to me. Guinness just tastes like piss. It'll grow hair on your fucking chest.
Oh, I love good
I said
Guinness.
what I said. You can come for me later. I said what I said. Okay.
When we were in the UK, that was a delight for me to get.
I know.
Fresh Guinness.
I know. I'm scrolling. I don't see where I've been tagged, so.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't see us being tagged. I did see a mention of aftercare salami. Clearly, I feel like we're doing our aftercare wrong because we don't have aftercare salami. I'm not even quite sure what aftercare salami is.
I
understand the
speak
reference.
for yourself.
I understand the reference. But understanding the reference is not having deep personal knowledge, and I need to just go find out. I know where to go. I know where it comes from. My glass is looking so empty, Daddy.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's so sad.
It is a sad thing.
Now, you don't have to get up and do anything. I would be happy.
No.
Damn. You're afraid I'll put 2 shots in there. I would not. I would do what you told me to do. Unless what you told me to do is not to put a full shot in. And then I'm sorry. Red.
Okay.
I have not, Tasha, heard of a show called Gallivant.
No.
Musical comedy. Is it like a show, like a TV or a streaming show, or is it like a Broadway musical show? Path Girl, I'm all about cheese and chocolate, though not together in my aftercare. I want some cheese for the savory and the protein and the fat, and then I want some chocolate for the sweet. And then we're going to Waffle House. I'm sorry.
Or Denny's.
Only if it's the good waitress. But I'd rather have Waffle House because then I can have a hash brown bowl with some sausage gravy on top and clog all the arteries at one time.
All in one fell swoop.
Oh, good. Okay, Rara. I thought it was a salami, but I didn't want to say and be wrong because I felt like I understood it as a salami. I was like, wait, I'm not sure. But also, as a euphemism, it's a good one. it all sound weird, X?
Right?
Oh, I see the comment above. I'll take your salami. Look.
It's on Hulu. Have to look for that.
Oh, God, it aired for like one whole year.
Okay.
Opinion of cheese on apple pie? Never had it. No opinion.
Never had it. Yeah.
No, it's a thing. No, people do it, but I've never
had it either.
It does not appeal when I think about it, but I would be willing to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like both of them.
Yeah. Yep.
We have definitely heard of the show Bonding, but we have yet to sit down and watch it. We are for shit at our sitting down and watching things, which is why I was thinking as an extra perk on Patreon, we might start doing some like live stream reactions to shows, because then it would make us have to actually watch these things. Because if it's for work, I'll do it. Ooh, Aftercare Easy Mac. Other than the
I like Kennett's Aftercare dark chocolate and a Cuban cigar.
I could see yeah, dark chocolate for sure. Mm-hmm. I just want to smell you after you smoke the cigar.
I know.
I will sit there while you smoke. When we've gone to cigar bars together, and I kind of like the atmosphere, but it gets a little smoky for me, and I'm a little like,
yeah.
But when you come in, if you like go outside and stress smoke a cigar, which does happen, and you come in and you smell of that, so I just want to sniff you.
Yeah.
But the kids are always around, and it just looks weird. Shy Girl asks, JB, how do you suggest a Dom learn about being one?
I would say probably the best way to do that, and, everybody is different how they learn. Read books. Mm-hmm. Watch YouTube videos. Community.
Ask questions.
Workshops.
And a lot of them are online these days.
And a lot of them are online today. The Woodshed has every month they have a monthly dominance roundtable.
A lot of larger communities I've seen around the country will do that. They'll do Dom meetings, sub meetings.
Yep. And I've attended a number of them. They are fantastic. It's all big D's around in the room. They do it hybrid right now. They do have an in-person event, but they also do it through Zoom. Mm-hmm. And there are times they have a topic that they talk about, and then there are times they're just open discussion and asking questions. Mm-hmm. That's really the best way to learn. I mean, it's all a learning process, and it never really stops. I mean, I'm always still learning things. I'm always attending different workshops, and from going to Munches, you talk to other people. You kind of you're like, I like that. That's kind of thing. So it's really just a matter of finding what works for you for learning what you what you want to know. Mm-hmm. On the website we do have a list of resources of books and different things. One of the very first books I ever read was The Loving Dominant.
Yes, it is very gendered. They've updated it. It's still a little dated even with the updates, but the concepts, if you're not trying to be hardcore, no softness, no loving, just like really, if what you want is a relationship, an interpersonal relationship, it's an excellent book. If what you want is really to be a standoffish top, probably not going to help you much. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and X wrote up what's the safe word.
Yes.
They are fantastic.
That's where the Grumpy Daddy t-shirt is that I need to buy you. I really need to buy him that shirt. In every color they might have it in. Maybe even a tank top. Just one for every day of the week. Every day you're feeling grumpy, you can put on a new one. And we all know. And we're like, oh, Grumpy Daddy. I'm going the other fucking way. But if you keep plying me with alcohol, I'll probably be your sweetest baby girl ever. And I will not tweak your nose and call you Grumpy Daddy. That is sadly only a momentary stopgap.
I know.
Because eventually the pain fades.
And right now, unfortunately, you're still on the injured list, and I can't go full on. So, yeah.
I'm trying not to take advantage of that. Mally asked if we're going to do Kinky Book Club this year. We are not going to do it this year. We both love to read. We enjoyed most of the books we read. Even the books that we weren't into, we could find things to enjoy. But we are also not good with having to read on a deadline. It takes the joy away.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we've already planned at least one, maybe two in first quarter this year, so through March. We're going to, at different times, read books, whether they're kinky or not, and incorporate them into discussions like in an episode. One, when we read it, will be a revisiting of a topic we've already discussed, but we're going to talk about it through the lens of that book. So that's what we're going to do for that. We have definitely not stopped reading. I would like to read more kink books because I want to read them and not because I gave myself a deadline by which I have to read them. So,
Junie.
Yeah, Junie asked a question. Mm-hmm. Should dom/tops experience being a bottom before topping? The idea being you cannot lead where you have not been. Thoughts?
Yeah. And Silent did mention that, and that's the first thing that came to my mind
very
when
old guard
that's very old guard. As a matter of fact, there were some aspects in old guard where you did not come in as a dominant. You started out as a submissive, and you basically worked your way up.
It's like a hierarchy. Yeah.
And there are still some people who believe in that thinking.
And if you believe in it and it works for you, do you.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, myself, to a certain extent, when we try something new, I've tried floggers on my arm. I've used paddles on my arm. Before I ever put wax on her, I was dripping wax on myself to get an idea of what it was like. Mm-hmm. So in certain aspects, it is a little bit of sound thinking because, in order for me to understand what I'm doing to her, it gives me an understanding.
Yes, I do think don't want to disrespect old guard or people who came up that way and it's a part of their identity, or people who prefer that concept, live by that concept. Like, I respect the fact that that is how somebody would see it and how they would find their way to being a dom or top. That being said, for those of us who are like, hell no, okay, for y'all, because I'm in that category too. I don't think that you have to. The thing is we've all experienced power differentials in our life. If you've ever had a boss, you've followed and you've submitted. We didn't call it that, and it wasn't negotiated in the same way, and it did not have the same mindset, but you've had to follow somebody's lead. So you know what it's like to have a bad leader / manager. You know what it's like to have a good one. So in a way, unless you manage to never have anybody in your whole life tell you what to do, which, I wouldn't want you near me if you've never had that. But like, that's the average person. We've all had that experience, even though we didn't call it that. We've all been in a position where somebody was over us and we had to choose whether we were going to follow them or not. Mm-hmm. So no, I don't think you have to do that first. I think that, and I would say many submissives are great fucking leaders. I don't have to dominate anybody to lead somebody else. I know how to lead outside of power exchange. And so I have some experience with figuring out how I can be led within power exchange. I'm not going to be upset if a partner of mine has submitted or bottomed before. That's fine. If they understand it on that level, great. But I don't need it for them to be my dominant. I know that they know what it means for somebody to tell them no, because we've all had that in life. And if we haven't, we're probably raging narcissists, and that's a whole other issue. The rest of us, we've had those experiences. I don't think it's necessary. Yeah. For me, if it's necessary for you, then do you. That's fine. That's totally fine.
I mean, again, it's not something that's written in stone. For some people it works, for some people it doesn't. I have been kinky in one way or another since my 20s, Did not have a name for it. Did not know other people did it at the time. It was very pre-computers, internet and cell phones. When I did discover it online, which was not necessarily the best way to discover it, the dominants I saw online were very blustery and, demanding. And I was like, oh,
the louder I am, the more important you'll think I am.
And I'm like, oh, no, that is not who I am at all. So I guess I must be submissive. Yeah.
You learned really quick, didn't you?
And I did embrace that for a little bit. Did have a mistress for a while. That did not go very well.
I feel like that was a round hole square peg situation.
Very
wasn't
much
it?
so.
Yeah.
Very much so. And it was through that I found my dominant energy, and I was like, okay, I know how I did not like being treated.
Right.
And
I think if more of us thought about the fact that there are power differentials in all aspects of our life, we kind of can come into any power exchange with at least some basic outline of how we would want to be treated and how we wouldn't want to be treated, regardless of where we fall on whichever side of the slash. And if you can start from that point of, I hated being treated this way, I don't want to treat somebody else that way, so therefore this is a boundary I have about dominance. And also, I've been treated shitty, and I'm not going to let a partner treat me shitty, so this is I feel like if we just made those connections more, we would realize that the power exchange aspect, as foreign as it can feel, as strange as it can feel, it is, but it's also not. We've got some more questions.
Okay.
Andre asks, I have a list of stuff that I expect Christy to have in her aftercare bag, but I'm curious what JB expects Kayla or another partner to have on hand, or what things do you bring?
That is kind of personal between each person, because aftercare to everybody
Right, he
is
wants
very.
to know what you would want me to bring.
Okay.
What do you want me to have?
For her, it's definitely a blankie.
Which my aftercare blankie became Lola's crate blankie.
Right.
So I don't have a blankie.
You don't have a blankie.
I guess I have to quilt my own fucking blankie. Is that what I'm being told?
Or find you a new blankie.
I mean, I'll quilt my own blankie. I'm happy to go buy fabric.
So definitely the blanket, and that
I do like to be wrapped. I get shivery and cold after a scene.
Yeah, because you're all worked up, all those the adrenaline going, and then when you're coming down, it gets cold.
And
so she likes to be wrapped in a blanket and cuddled.
And if we're playing in a dungeon, which is where the blanket would need to be. If we're playing at home, we got our bed. Just put me in bed. It's fine. Tuck me in. But there's a mindset shift for me. When we are on the apparatus playing, I'm an exhibitionist, full display. Whatever you see, you see. I hope you like it. I might move in certain ways in hopes of the fantasy in my mind I'm enticing somebody. I know I'm not, but I don't care. It's fun for me. Once I get off that apparatus and we are not in kink scene mode anymore, I'm like, holy shit, I'm a half-naked lady in a room of strangers, and I want to cover the fuck up. So a blanket is comforting, and it's a cover. Because now I'm not in that same headspace, and all I can think is, I can't make this look enticing. No, all my insecurities come rushing in.
The other thing for her is water.
Yeah, and
something
when we're
to drink.
The dungeon, they'll usually have it.
They usually have that there.
But at home, you usually put like a glass in the bedroom.
Home, usually keep a glass in the bedroom. Some kind of snack for her. For her, it can be sometimes chocolate, as long as it's a dark chocolate.
I don't like milk chocolate.
No, I don't either, though. But that's the other thing is, I remember. When we used to go to 312, they always had a cheese platter.
Oh, the cheese was so much better after a scene.
and I used to bring you a little plate of cheese, and you would just...
I would be huddled off the apparatus, but close, so somebody else could use it. But still close enough by, I was clearly in aftercare mode, and I'd have a blankie around me, and one time I remember you propped me up, you put me on the seat, and then leaned me into the wall. And dungeon is a euphemism, y'all, because in 312, the play space was upstairs.
Upstairs, yeah.
So you had to go downstairs through the hall, around the corner to get to the food area, plate up some cheese, repeat the trip back. And I was like, I just have to stay here and hold this bottle of water. That's all I have to do. Or if we hadn't thought to bring water up with us, I just have to like lean my head against this cold wall. It's fine. And then I would like slowly be fed cheese as if I was Cleopatra being fed grapes under palm fronds. Like,
there was one night at that club. She was so out of it. I did not want to leave her alone, even to go downstairs to get her something to drink and to eat. And thankfully we had a friend there that night, and I actually had friends sit there with her while I went downstairs.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. If we are playing away, it's not aftercare, but it kind of is. It's part of our tradition now. If we're at the dungeon or a club or whatever, I don't care how exhausted I am, and I will be exhausted. We're stopping to eat because I'm starving. Like I want to go to sleep. I desperately want to go to sleep. I'm also starving. So in a way, it's a part of the extended aftercare. Food. Yeah. And also sometimes not, drinks. I like cold drinks.
I have very little left in my
glass. I can help you with that.
But I can really stretch that out.
The fuck you can. Okay. Destin asks, if either of you were going to become world experts with a particular tool or technique, what would it be?
I'm sorry, say that again.
If either of you were going to become world experts with a particular tool or technique, what would it be?
Ooh.
What would you like if you could wave your magic wand and be an expert in some aspect? What?
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Okay.
And really stretch on something, because this is something that has eluded me for a long time.
Okay.
If I could become an expert on anything, finger floggers.
You do struggle with finger floggers.
Yeah.
I mean, you're fine with everything else, but there's
something with the finger floggers. I've never really been able to totally grasp them. And
what would I want to be a world expert on?
Ranting.
I'm already world class, baby. Number one worldwide, I believe, is how it goes. Quite frankly, I wish I was a world expert on being able to succinctly and clearly, with an understanding, thank you, I love you so much, with an understanding of how to adequately talk about the psychology and all of the issues, talk about both submission in general and power exchange in general. Like, I come at it from my lived experience and like the 5 things I remember from my psychology major in college 20 years ago. Like, that's all I got. And my intuition and the things I've learned. And I think there's value in those things, but I would love to be able to explain the psychology behind it and the implications and why it works this way and what are some good methods. And like, I wish I could do that, because I feel like I would maybe help more people, but also I would feel more valid in what I'm saying. Like, y'all, I cannot tell you how many times we have shut everything down and I've gone, did I just bullshit my way through that? Like, did any of that make sense? Because the reality is what I know to be true for me is only me, and it's not gonna, or I know what works for me, but I can't explain why, and I would love to be able to do that. Could I go back to college and study psychology again and maybe like piece together a thing that's about like, power exchange relationships as a master's degree? Yeah, who's got time for that? No, I can't do that. But that's what I would love to do. So that's what I would say to that. I'm scrolling. Ooh, it jumped. I don't see any tags right now. I am looking for us being tagged. I thought I saw a couple of questions come through, but yep. Okay. I missed Eva saying goodnight, but goodnight, Eva. Let's see. Hold on. I thought I saw some questions, but I'm not seeing them. So if anybody has any questions, just remember to tag us. Let's see. I'm just waiting on a drink now. Let's see. Yeah, and Silent Wing, is anyone ever really an expert? I think that the moment you think you're an expert, you've just stunted your own growth. Now you're stuck in a spot. And I think there's always something new to learn. Maddie, I technically never stopped doing postcards, kind of. But then postcard prices changed drastically, and I would have to, not postcard stamp prices changed drastically, and all of the postcard stamps I have would not actually be any good. I have not formally done it, and I have not advertised it, but our address is in the places. When we get mail, we do put it back up here on our board, which I think is slightly more visible now with the camera change. Oh no, Silent Wing, we may need to bullshit for the rest of the night. Aw. But I got to rant, so now... Oh, third drink and I got a straw? Is it because all the vodka's down there? Are you trying to get me drunk?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't mind. I mean, so I have tried, and if some of y'all know this because I've done these on live streams before, where I've tried to be like, look, I'm telling you while I am sober that I consent to whatever fuckery when I'm drunk, because we've never done, like, I don't even think we've had drunk sex before. And now I can't do anything because I'm still in recovery mode. So would it even be fun to get me drunk? Maybe. I think that's a matter of perspective. So
I think it would be fun to get you drunk and in want.
No, X, I actually agree with that. I think that to be an expert, yeah, is to understand that you still have plenty to learn.
Sure.
I just wish I had a base knowledge, like a formal way of explaining things that is more than just, this is how I feel and my intuition says, because that doesn't feel very, very wonderful. No, Mally, the system for sign up is only going to tell me what level you're at as of the 15th. So I'm only going to see you once, whether you go up and down or whatever. So better to go in at the one, if you want to do it, go in at the one you can afford. Like, don't stretch your budget. For us, is not worth it in our opinion. But if you went up and then went down, I'm going to see the last place you're at on February 15th. So
Rara caught on to what I was doing.
Maybe I'm more inebriated than I realized. I mean, I see the edging comment, but I don't think I understand.
About getting you drunk in need and not being able to do anything about it?
Oh, I just wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
And X, that's the way I feel about things too. I mean, as long as I've been in the lifestyle and the people I've been exposed to and the things that I've learned from books that I've read and workshops I've attended, I don't know everything. I'm always learning something. And I don't remember the book, but I loved the term that this person used in the book. She called BDSM practitioners life learners.
True.
Because you're always learning. You're always honing your skills. You're always picking up new and different things. There's always something new to learn, no matter what it is.
And that's kind of the fun of it. I would get bored if there came a day I was like, well, we know it all now. Well, shit, now what's there to do? I better go find a new hobby after all this time.
But I even with my woodworking, with my wood turning, I'm always learning new things. It's like that with everything, I think. I
think that's the fun of it too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if there's always something new to learn, there's always a new place to explore, whether that's a style or a technique or a tool and that's in everything, especially if you enjoy it. If you genuinely enjoy it, I feel like the hobbits on an adventure. Like, I am Bilbo Baggins going on the adventure. Like, let's go, That's kind of, to me, what's worth getting up for in the morning, I saw, who was it? Was it Junie who said that you feel too chunky to be a rope bottom? Oh, I can't tell you how to feel, and you feel the way you feel, but there is no such thing as too chunky.
No.
Just because what we see in the pretty pictures is certain body types. I have to go digging through Instagram to find them, because Instagram is not trying to feed it up to me as a recommended. But I have seen some rope ties with some much larger bodies than you normally see.
There is a rope group on FET.
Okay.
Called
you would know.
Plus Size.
Mm-hmm. It's not as visible, and that's...
Yeah. And they do some beautiful rope work.
And then Safi even asked, do y'all know anything about rope play? My daddy is interested, but we didn't know where to start. You were the one to have that information. Where?
Okay.
What would you recommend?
First off, learn the safety aspects.
Take an online workshop.
Yeah.
Go to an in-person demo if that's available to you. That kind of stuff. Read a book, watch a YouTube video, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Safety aspects. One of the biggest thing, safety shears, some kind of rope cutters in case of emergency, and keep them close at hand. Don't set them on the nightstand and suddenly they're out of reach. The other thing is learn about nerve points.
Can I interrupt to say?
Yeah.
And I say this, we do not make money off of this. We've made our money because of the sponsorship. For a total absolute beginner.
Yes.
Like complete beginner. Would you recommend the Beducated
Absolutely.
Shibari course?
Absolutely.
So, we are not making money if you, on top of the sponsorship, if you sign up for the Beducated and use our code. Okay. So please, I hope nobody ever feels pressure from us to do this. But you sat through that and you are literally mentioning things that you liked about that course.
Yes.
I think it's $7 for a month, and then you can cancel and do what you need to do. But $7 to get the very basics with this kind of information, and then go and find a workshop or find, something a little bit more in depth and more hands-on or whatever, might be worth it if you've got the budget. If you don't have the budget, I totally understand. But
yeah,
these kinds of things, it's all in that one spot.
Yeah, Beducated would be perfect for that. Especially if you don't have anything available in your area. You can sit down at the computer and watch. It's both reading and videos. I was very, very impressed with that. There was one entire section dedicated to explaining all the nerves in your arms, all the nerves in your legs, in the trunk, where you shouldn't put rope. And they even went into depth of what the nerves control. All important things to know. Someone mentioned in the chat, Two Naughty Boys. Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful. They have some fantastic books, wonderful resources for stuff, especially for beginners. The Dutchie.
That sounds familiar.
TheDutchie.com.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's another great rope site. So, it's there's a lot of resources out there. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more trying to narrow it down and find the resource that will take you kind of from point A to point B and get you.
Yeah, procrastinating. Kim mentioned that was something I did because of something that was mentioned at one of the rope workshops I attended. So having the safety scissors on a retractable lanyard at my waist, so God forbid you ever need them, they are right there with you at all times.
And then I know you have more experience with rope, so I don't know how you'd have to tell me how this would be for a total newbie, but I know you've taken part in FET groups where it's like self-tie challenges, or you actually bought a mannequin off of Amazon to practice your ties, which I'm assuming gender of our mannequin, but our mannequin is very pretty with a two colors of rope, and there's a rope bra, and it's really cute.
Yeah.
So there are things online without having to pay for access that once you get some basics, you're like, yeah, well, shit, I need some fucking practice. There are groups out there dedicated to helping people learn more about the rope community. And I think some rope folks would probably say this, is kind of, it's within BDSM community, but it is its own community. There are rope conventions. There are rope groups and classes. There are people who they're riggers and they're rope bottoms, and that's all they are, and that's all they want to be. Like, there's a ton of information out there if you can go find it.
Yeah, but definitely get the safety aspect down first with rope. There are risks to everything we do. Rope carries its own risk with it. Nerve damage, there's wrist drop that can occur. So that's why it is so important to understand the safety aspects of it before you just dive in and start tying somebody up.
Hey, Shybean, if you're asking about the Beducated link, if you go to our live stream from Wednesday or the podcast show notes, or if you subscribe to our newsletter, it should be in there, that link. It's there.
Okay.
YouTube tends to be funny about chat when I try and drop a link. So, yeah.
So, yeah, I picked up, I went to Lowe's, and over in the section where they do keys, they have all kinds of different keychains, and that's where I got the retractable lanyard for the safety scissors.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, the other group you mentioned, there is a group on there called Self Tie Tuesday on FetLife, and every week they have a different challenge, so that then on Tuesdays you post up the pictures.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of different groups like that out there on FET.
And was it Ginny who asked how you set up a FetLife account and don't get a bunch of dick pics? I am only there for my DMs and I don't interact anywhere, so therefore I somehow managed to avoid most of them. And that's the only way I know, which makes then FetLife not useful at all.
Yeah.
I use FetLife for people who want to DM me, like y'all, and I use it to find local events. Like I use it like as a search bar. I don't participate in a single fucking group.
Well, several people did mention you can set the messages to only get from friends. So
yeah. Oh yeah, and I'm really, and we created rules on my personal FET account about friend requests. So if somebody is a submissive, I don't care what your gender is, as long as you don't look creepy to me and I got a good vibe, I'll accept the friend request. Yeah. If you are a cis male dom, you gotta go get my daddy's permission, because no offense to the good ones, some of y'all are fucking creeps. And I get a lot of friend requests from men who only follow a friend a very similar physical type of woman, and if I don't see that they've connected to him first, I'm like, and it's like a sea of connections of maybe it's cam girls, maybe it's whatever, and they're beautiful, but it's a sea of a certain type. I'm like, one, you didn't, and my thing I think even says you have to ask permission. I can't remember. I'm like, ooh, I'm not, you would be the guy that's gonna send me a dick pic. No thanks.
Yeah. So I hope that gave you a jumping point there for that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, FET is like any other social media site. They're good and bad with it, and yes, there are the creeps out there.
And quite frankly, considering the amount of grossness I've gotten in my Instagram DMs over the years, I would almost say, from my limited use of FetLife, I know somebody else out there has it worse. It's no better or worse than than a non-kink social media platform. The difference is that it's a lot more common for somebody's profile picture to be a dick pic. And no offense to anybody who feels really strongly about your penis being your profile pic. That is another red flag for me. If I see a DM or a friend request from somebody and the first thing I see of you is a penis, it is an automatic ignore. I understand it's FetLife, and I understand there's a lot of nudity, and that's fine. I understand where I'm at. But there are 7+ billion people on the planet, and we all get to create our personal criteria of who do I want to interact with. And if the first thing I know about you is a picture of your penis, I've automatically decided I don't want to interact with you. Like, you can go do it. I'm not going to judge you for it, but I'm just not going to have a conversation with you either.
Yeah. I mean, it's you know, can it...
Yes, rah-rah, IG is, I think so too.
You know, I was introduced to FET early on when I came into the community in the 90s. And for me, it has always been a way to find events, munches, and socials and different things going on. You know, at the time it was to keep up with stuff going on at the Phoenix Club, and you know now what's happening at the Woodshed, and you know that's what I use it for, and I pretty much overlook the rest. The block and mute button is a wonderful thing.
You know what's funny? For all that I was ranting earlier about how I'm less affected by other people's opinions. I still hesitate. I will block. I will mute. I will. Yeah. But if I've had one positive interaction with a person, even if the next 20 are negative, there's a part of me that's like, am I being mean? Like, here's the thing. I can be mean in theory. I can be mean about a nameless, faceless type of person that we all know is out there. I find it very hard to be mean to, even if it's a fake picture and a fake name. Like, and blocking and muting is not mean, and yet that's where my brain goes. I need so much therapy. Also, I don't know if this was planned or not, but it goes a lot faster when you're drinking through a straw.
Huh.
You didn't just give me baby Diet Coke, did you? I just belched into the microphone. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's not just Diet Coke.
Okay. I mean, I understand how you're in charge of this, so at some point you could cut me off and I never know. And it'd just be the after effects. Please don't do that. Just get me drunk and let me sleep in tomorrow, okay?
You'll sleep the day away, and that's fine. I'll be off.
It'll be very quiet for you.
Yeah.
I can't even get to my fucking straw.
Oh, that was...
I wonder how quickly this got demonetized.
That was priceless.
Yeah, there are some people I block and I don't think twice about it. And then there's some I don't know why I go.
Yeah. And see, you know, I saw a few people talking, you know, FetLife obviously, and you know, and someone else mentioned how they have more trouble on Instagram. Twitter is where I get
I used to get a lot on Twitter. I think it kind of helped that Twitter and Instagram do this too. Finally started doing they kind of started hiding DMs from people you're not automatically following. And so it's a lot easier to ignore both sets. Yeah, I used to get a shit ton on Twitter. Twitter, to this day, I get a combo. I either get cis male subs begging me to hurt them and they want me to be their mistress. And every so often I get some gross
I wish I had
wannabe dom or master.
I wish I had a nickel for every message I get from a mistress wanting me to be their sissy slave.
Yeah, you do get that. Yeah. That is so weird to me. It's like, wait, it's a Southern sir.
I know, right?
Name.
Yeah.
Dom too. Like, I obviously switches exist, and just because somebody's like, I'm a Dom here, doesn't mean they couldn't. But like, what context made them go, that's the next sissy slave there?
And then you look at my bio, like I'm dominant and daddy Dom dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I get that people do switch, and sometimes it's character limits. You can't put everything you are in a bio. But there's no context for it.
I know.
They're casting a wide net. They're spamming. We all know what it is. But it still kind of makes me go, it's the same energy, and I know not everybody will relate to this, but if you've gotten those kind of messages, you know this energy. It's the same energy that content creators, bloggers, people who create things for the internet get from the rando who doesn't know that you're an individual person and sends the email, "Hi team," to my personal email address that says Kayla Lords on it. And they want to sell me something, get me to write something, have me publish some janky ass fucking article. It's just a wide ass net. And they're like, if we spam 85,000 people, 2 of those people might be dumb enough to say yes.
Yeah, Tasha, yeah, I did try it once. I mean, maybe they're trying to get me back into the fold. I don't know, but...
Christy asks, are there other kink social media or networking sites you would recommend? There's Kink Space. It's kind of quiet there, right?
Kink Space.
No, it's gone downhill.
It's gone down. I've pretty much...
It was like the Facebook of kink.
Yeah.
But...
oh gosh, I can't think of the name now.
There's the Cage.
The Cage.
You were thinking of the Cage.
Mm-hmm. The Cage is a decent space.
Yeah. Thecage.co is the website.
Mm-hmm.
Fetish.com is... It has good intentions, but I think it's mostly being treated as a bit of a pickup site. So if you are looking for play or whatever, it's not based in the U.S., so they have a lot more non-American groups there and people there. And then I know this is not really a social media networking space, but I do see you on BDSM lurk every so often. It's the Tumblr for BDSM, basically.
I want to like that.
I
really do. It's kind of like it. I want to like it because it's like the Tumblr of old.
It does look like it, yeah.
But the problem with that, and even that, I've kind of turned away from it, is it's very spammy with ads.
Oh, because they're trying to make money.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Please Me.
Yeah, I looked into it and it looked fine. I'm just not into any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I just wandered away. Please Me with with a Z instead of S in Please. It's with a Z.
I mean, it's decent. I don't spend a whole lot of time there, but they have a lot of different
Sorry, that third shot of vodka is definitely fucking kicking in.
But they have a different communities. When you go in there, they kind of give you a quiz of different things that you're interested in and stuff, and that kind of puts you into your community.
Yeah.
So but I think that's most of the ones that I know. I would say if any of them, The Cage is the one I recommend the most.
Yeah, when we first partnered with them a couple years ago, they were still kind of little and small. The hard part is these sites come on and they're trying to do good things, but they've got to try and take attention away from all the sites that already exist. FetLife for kinksters and sex people in general, and then attention from Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all the places that's really easy to use. And these places can't get iOS apps and Android apps very easily. Right. Some of them manage to get it some of the way, but not all the way, and it's just very complicated. So, yeah, when we first worked with The Cage, we haven't worked with them for a couple of years, but we still like them.
Yeah.
And you go to the site, they were small but mighty. They were growing, and they've grown.
They have grown.
They have grown.
Yeah.
Last time I was in there, I saw a lot more than I. And again, they're another worldwide one, so you get a cross section of people. Crow may. I saw Crow dip in. Hi, Crow. I think there's like a FetLife for. Not here. Like is it a Dutch version of FetLife, or Crow, was it you telling me about it? Somebody was telling me about it, and then they told me the name and I can't remember. But yeah, so and Mr. Spock, I did catch that. Yes, both boys like to game.
they'll get up, they do their chores, and then they are.
What I appreciate is that they do their chores first.
Yes, they do. So.
And also.
So yes, it will be quiet.
Just in general, thank you. Thank you. Your service is appreciated.
Oh.
Do you need? It's the second time.
Ah, okay.
Do you need help with your drink?
My drink is fine.
Mine is very sad. My ice cubes are very lonely. They're not swimming in a delicious pool anymore.
But they have each other to keep company. They're keeping company.
No. They're gonna be like Elsa and let it go as they melt. Thank you, Silent Wing, too. I just saw. Thank you. See? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. I need to. I think they are now. Perma block because yeah. Hi, Junie.
Take care, Junie.
I'm having a good time. I think the Q&A part.
Yeah.
We might have been getting a little stale. There's only so much you can talk about with TV shows, especially people who don't. Since we haven't, we've been sadly trying and not doing a good job of watching Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Which is, I think what I'm learning is you and I really enjoy absurd shows.
Right.
We loved The Good Place. There was a certain absurdity to that. We loved Schitt's Creek. There was a certain absurdity to that. Doom Patrol, I can't call it love because sometimes those characters annoy the fuck out of me. Like, I just want them to go to therapy and get their shit together.
Right.
But it is an absurd show, and apparently we love the absurd. So.
Well, yeah, and sometimes for you it gets a little graphic with.
Oh yeah, if I typically lose my enjoyment of a show if I have to duck my head because I can't watch what's happening on screen. It's too much. Yeah, once like body parts start flying off of the main body, I'm like, okay, I'm done looking at this now. Thanks. I saw your comment about that X, and I tried to remember. Did I get weepy? I'm pretty sure you got weepy because you do.
Yeah.
And I'm the Scorpio bitch who's like, why are you crying? Oh, that's right. I love you. Oh, I'm sorry. Why are you crying? I remember it being a moving moment. If I cried, it was because I understood it was the end of the show. I really think that's if I even cried at all. It was moving. Like I felt it, but I don't remember weeping. I'm pretty sure JB was crying. Because you do. You were softer side. Oh, Schitt's Creek is so good.
Yeah.
I would rewatch. I don't rewatch a lot of stuff. Like I'm a one and done. Okay, we move on. But Schitt's Creek is one I would definitely rewatch.
Yeah.
Okay, Gallivant on Hulu is absurd.
All right.
Yeah, it's a weird line on absurdity because there's absurdity that's smart and funny, and I'm like, okay, this is silly, but I'll go with it. And then there's that like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? I don't even have the patience for this, and I just can't. So, yeah.
Well, that's just like Lucifer.
That was so good.
Yeah.
The season when they got to Netflix, it got better. Like the first couple of seasons when they were on network or whatever, it was good. It's what sucked us in. And then there was that season that I thought it would never fucking end. What was it? Season 3? Maybe 4? It was like 20 some odd episodes. And I was like, some of these are stupid. And then when it moved to Netflix, the writing got tighter.
Yes.
And it just it moved faster. It got better. I did enjoy Lucifer, and it was absurd.
Yeah,
it was absurd.
But even the way they ended that series, it was good. It was a good ending for that. Yep.
And see, I probably would not rewatch The Good Place. I enjoyed it, but I still find myself quoting or impersonating characters from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Like I can't decide if I want to be David. I want to be Maureen, right? That's Mom's name. Was it Maureen? What's her name?
Moira.
Jesus.
Moira.
3 shots and my brain is melting.
Well, you're cut
Moira.
off. You'll just get a Diet Coke next time
No.
around.
some more. Who knows what I'll say on live stream? No, I do think I have backed myself into a reading rut corner with my books. Like, I want to read a bunch of fun stuff, but I decided I wanted to finish this one stack of books that my mom had given me that have just like been staring at me in judgment since she gave some of those books to me 2 years ago. And I was like, I want to read these and be like, you were gone. I never have to look at you as a stack or think about you again. And it's making it hard to want to read. And what I want to do is just sit and read and read and read. But my desire to read does not match up with, one, the amount of time I have, and two, the amount of money I wish I had to spend in a bookstore, which I still find strange because I spent so many years like going, I'll just go to the library and then I can give the book back and then it won't take up space. And now when I'm like, look, I got a Barnes & Noble gift card for Christmas, and we went to Barnes & Noble last weekend, and I was like, but why would I buy books? I don't reread books. There's one series that I'm about to start or reread. It'll probably be my seventh reread of the series, and it is Diana Gabaldon, and it is the Outlander series, because what I do is every time I get or find that there's a new book in the series over time, I start from book one and I reread the whole thing to get caught up. And my mom, for Christmas, bought me every single book written in the series, even the offshoot books. So I have current to date every book written within the Outlander series, and I'm definitely rereading it again to get caught up. But like, since I don't reread books in general, I'm like, why would I buy this book? Because I don't buy for covers, even though I like pretty covers. I will reject a book I've never heard of for a cover if I don't like the book, or if I don't like the cover and I've never heard of the book, I'm like, meh. And then I've heard so much back and forth about people who are like either on Bookstagram or Book Talk. Some people are like, this is an amazing book, and other people are like, that book is fucking trash. I'm like, shit, I don't know if I should read that book. I want to own all of the books and I want to read all of the books, but also, one, I don't have time, and two, I don't have money, and I can't justify the money I do have because I'm like, I won't reread this book.
Well, you know what?
I don't reread books as a general rule.
I just had a thought about something.
Uh-oh.
And this, because some was talking about books that they would reread. The one series I would reread, The Gunslinger. And there was a time I had all those books.
I once had all the Outlander books, not all of them to date.
I had all those books. And at some point in one of the moves, they vanished. And I looked online on Amazon. Can't find them that easy.
You're going to have to go to used bookstores.
But, yeah, what made me think of that was the book vendors at the flea market.
Well, and I'll say this. There is another author that I will reread those books, and that's Mercedes Lackey, and the Valdemar series, and the Enchanted Kingdom, the Elemental Master series. Those I have, and I will reread those. And I decided I do want to own those books. I have not read anything that Mercedes Lackey has co-authored with anybody. I'm afraid to, because I'm afraid I won't like it as much. Yes, her writing is formulaic. Her stories are formulaic. I don't care. It's a comfort read. But I'm going to scour flea markets and used bookstores and Goodwill and blah, 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 and I'm going to piece together that collection, because that is such a comfort read for me. While I would love to have brand new books, some of those books are 20 fucking years old. Only way I'm going to find them is probably through, at a price I could afford, is probably through like a flea market.
Yeah. Christy, I was not too thrilled with the...
Yes, X. That's exactly what he means.
Yes, that's what I mean. Stephen King series.
And I'm probably the only person on the planet who likes the movie, because I never read the books. Everybody who'd read the books was so pissed off that I knew.
Right.
And I was like, this movie's not bad. It's weird, but it's not bad.
I liked the last book. I was not overly thrilled with the ending myself. So, but yeah, I need to put that series of books back together.
What was I going to... hold on. Christy said, I wanted to answer this because then Living Well anyway backed Christy up.
Okay.
Christy says, it's my birthday this week. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I think the birthday present should be going later. And what I was going to say is, if I can get another drink, I'm happy to keep going. Will I pay for this tomorrow? Yes, but I made no plans for tomorrow. None. I'm not going no fucking where. I'm not getting out of my soft clothes. I don't get out of my soft clothes anyway. Like, this is what I wore out all day to go get my hair cut. We went to dinner.
Since before Christmas, you've lived in soft clothes.
Baby, since before the pandemic, I've lived in soft clothes. Who wants a button press? And now none of it fits anymore. So there's that. Okay. Andre asked, would the inlay stuff, JB, the inlay stuff, does it have to go all the way through the wood or can it just be part way through the wood?
Right now, at the moment, I do not have the ability to do partial inlays.
We have talked about it for future, but it's need a new tool thing.
That's some different tools than what I've got at the moment.
He's got to sell more paddles before he can get more tools.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wind to the Key. No, I've not heard of that book. Hang on. Where's my...
Wind Through the Keyhole.
Yeah.
Who's it written by? Is it a Stephen King book? I'm assuming because we're talking about Dark Tower and Gunslinger and all that. Take your notes. And then Hanging In says to tell you that other books tie to the Dark Tower series as well.
Yes.
The Black House, Insomnia.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew that? Okay.
Yeah. I can't think of his name. The one character that occurs in Stephen King's book. But yes.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Night, Kim.
Yes, Eye of the Dragon. I love that book.
It's more of his fantasy kind of writing instead of his gruesome, scary stuff, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, because I mean, I know he's gruesome in what he writes because he's so that's just kind of But there's his horror stuff that literally I can't close my eyes to sleep.
In The Stand, he's known as the Walking Man, but he kind of figures in through different Stephen King books.
And that's fine. I'm just trying to get the tone of the whole series. The Gunslinger didn't scare me. Would the books scare me the way that some of his other more famous books are terrifying?
The Gunslinger was more of a fantasy, yes.
Okay, that's more my speed. Because when we read, what was it, 11/23/61, 11/21/63?
About the
time
Kennedy
travel and the Kennedy assassination. There were, because he's detailed and there can be gruesome bits, but the story was fascinating because it was time travel.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
Randall Flagg, yes. Yes, Silent Wing, thank you. Randall Flagg, yes. Yes. He reoccurs through a number of Stephen King books in different iterations as the Walking Man and different...
So in a way, does Stephen King, for his prolific writing, is it all kind of one big universe? No. Okay. Thank you, X.
There you go.
Oh, my memory for books is for shit. I don't know why I try and write reviews of anything, but it is really good. Silent Wing is so good.
It is really good.
So good. Couldn't tell you a lot of details.
Yeah.
When I think about books that I like, unless I reread them or I've read they're part of a series and so they're formulaic, I couldn't tell you what happened, but I can tell you how they made me feel. Oh, Mason, when I read I read over our break while I was lying on the couch. Thank you, Daddy. I love you. I found the first 3 books that she ever published, and Arrows of the Queen, Arrows, that series, the first trilogy. And it got published in the 90s, and it was actually, and I found it at the library, it was a full set. It was all 3 books in one. And it was the only part of her Valdemar, Heralds of Valdemar series I had never read. I'd read all the other ones. And even then, she was making sure it was very clear that not everybody was straight, not everybody was... I think, if I recall, there's been a little bit of gender stuff, but not a lot, I don't think. I thought there was. And I was reading that over Christmas break, and I was like, Jesus Christ, she got it 30 fucking years ago. What the hell's wrong with everybody else? But yes, one of many things I like about Mercedes Lackey. Oh my God. Yeah. Could she be more diverse? Probably. Are there some stereotypes sometimes in there? Yes, but it's still better than so much other. Night, Savvy Hog. Night, Path Girl. I might just start snoring into the microphone, y'all. Bye, Kenneth. Oh, I love paranormal romance. I have realized that if I'm reading romance that includes, and it needs to include, like, graphic sex, I like it better when it's paranormal. I want people who shift from animal to human. I want the undead. I want aliens. I want it. If it's gonna be two humans, it better be kinky as fuck if I'm gonna read it. Otherwise, it needs to be like out of this world, paranormal, fantasy, sci-fi, like, and spicy, as they say on the gram. Night, Maddie. Are we gonna be like the bar where there's like 4 of us hanging at the end? Possibly. I love you so much. Can't even say you're trying to take advantage of me either. He can't hear me. He can't hear me, but... I have also found, and I don't know, I would never have said this is who I was before.
Window. You put an empty glass there and a
full
drink appears.
And alcohol comes through it. I love that. Before I realized this about myself with books, I wouldn't have thought this was true.
And I will be right back.
Okay. But the more hyped up a book gets online, not always, but most of the time, the more skeptical I am of it. Not because I think I have discerning tastes. Not because I think everybody on the internet's a liar. I don't. I just am like, am I only reading this because the cool kids told me I should read this? So what that means is I end up not reading a lot of new books. For 2 years, most of what I've read, if it hasn't been from the library, has been from my mom's book collection. She reads all kinds of stuff. And I've been reading books that were published in the 90s. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Old books exist. And the fact that books published in the 90s can credibly be called old these days is painful. So, like, yeah. Mr. Spock, we can guess who the 4 will be. I'm telling you, if there could be an apocalypse and JB, me, and that 4, y'all, we would be sitting there together just talking about TV and alcohol and food and books. Thanks, CB. I will eventually dye the salt and pepper. Not because I have a problem with it, but because I miss having different colored hair. But I have already decided when I start dyeing my hair again, I will go vibrant. There will be bright blue, bright purple, mermaid, whatever. So that means I can't start doing that until I can afford the upkeep of doing it every few weeks or whatever. So we're at salt and pepper until then. It is very strange to me to see my hair like this. Partly because I had been dyeing it regularly since 2015. I'd taken a break prior to that, but regularly since 2015, essentially the same color, slight differences. And my mom, who is 61, still dyes her hair, and it looks very good on her, and I'm blessed to come from a family where we do not show our age for a long time. And I, based on my hair, look older than my own mom right now. If she didn't have the fine lines around her eyes that I don't quite yet have, you would probably think she was younger than me. And that has been a very weird feeling to see, because there's a lot of white. The person who cuts my hair was buzzing the sides for me to cut it close, and the white right here, I was telling JB, came off and I couldn't decide if it looked like confetti or snow. But it was white. I can't even pretend and call it silver. It's fucking white. Living well anyway. Are you trying to get me in trouble?
I know. I saw that. I was going to say.
Taste you, they were. They really were. The 90s were like 10 years ago.
Yeah. And that's the end of the vodka, by the way.
Oh, we'll have to actually go to a liquor store. And maybe I can find peppermint schnapps.
Yeah, you still haven't tried that, have you? We need to remedy that.
And maybe, we could find sweet tea vodka. I want all the flavored vodkas, quite frankly. I'm good with that. Oh my gosh. Hell, not that anybody can tell because you shaved your damn head, but I have more white, gray, and silver in my hair on top of my head than JB has. Yours shows up in your beard.
In my beard, yeah.
Which looks very distinguished on you, and I like how it looks. I like how your hair looks. But if I had thought to take a picture, and why the fuck would I have? I don't know. I promise you, when I was thinking about my hair on the floor of the place where I got my hair cut, I wouldn't call it a salon. It's not that vibe. It's a cool vibe, but it's a barber / salon. Anyway, it's a cool vibe. And then I saw your little pile of where you had cut your hair.
Yeah.
Your hair is legitimately darker than mine. I'm not a big fan of cream soda. I might just do shots of peppermint schnapps and let my eyes water and my nose burn and be done with it. Actually, a peppermint Diet Coke would not hurt my feelings. Ooh, a vanilla flavor? Or like a lime flavor? Because lime and Diet Coke is really good. A lime flavor? Yeah, Mr. Spock, he will. I'll just stumble there.
And then she'll talk all night.
No, I can already feel the tiredness creeping in.
Oh, okay, good.
If you get me into a comfortable position, which will be easy because I'm going to be boneless, I think I'll just be out. Yeah, if I was feeling hyper like I was about an hour and a half ago, yeah, I'd talk all night. But no, we're on what, the 4th shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to
this
admit,
eye doesn't want to stay open anymore.
I have to admit, I didn't think I was really feeling it.
And then you stood up?
I got a little sloppy when I was mixing these.
If I see a cat stumbling because they licked up the sloppy,
I cleaned it up. I cleaned it up.
Oh, breakfast would be so... See, this is the time... Well, it's a little early for what I used to do back in the day, but this is the time of night where you're feeling like this after a few drinks and you get hungry, which I am. This is when you go to Waffle House.
Yeah.
And it's an experience. And if you know, you know.
I'm not driving, though.
See, we live in the 21st century. We could fucking Uber our way to a Waffle House. I mean, I'm not that irresponsible of a parent. I'm not going to leave my kids in the middle of the night. Although one of them is 16 and now gainfully employed. It's probably fine.
Yeah.
But you don't even have to fucking... If you've got the cash for it anyway, you don't have to worry about it. You just fucking Uber your way to wherever you need to go while you're inebriated.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would not get behind the wheel of a car now.
I mean, you know, it's weird. The silver that's creeping in my hair, my beard, it doesn't bother me. I actually like it.
Here's the thing, and I'm happy for you. Cis men are socialized that it's distinguished. You have... I'm sure there's some example. I'm sure some obscure example we could find where somebody's like, the just for men bullshit that went through the 80s and 90s, and it was bullshit. But in general, media culture society says that as you get older, you are distinguished, you have more power. Even if that's not true on a personal level, which it is, you have the power here, but you know what I mean? Like, that's what society teaches you. Society teaches cis women that we are old hags and should hide our head in shame if we cannot dye our hair. I'm happy to fight against that. I have, speaking of the conversation going on, I have had silver in my hair since I was about 19. It was one hair here, one hair there, but my hair is the little bits back here that still match it, a brown black. Like, and what's weird is seeing the silver and the white reflect off of it, because it does, even the dark part that's still my natural color, this is all my natural color, but my original color, I don't even recognize it anymore because it's taken on a tone and a shade that's not even what I remember before all this came in. So like every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, who the fuck is this person? I do not recognize this.
Yeah. X mentioned earlier about trying the with the peppermint schnapps with the cream soda. I love peppermint schnapps. I used to drink that back in the day. But I would just be
I would pound shots with you. But only if you promise to take advantage of me when we're done. We do not promote inebriated play like that. It's partly because a lot of people who take our advice or follow us are newbies, and we're not going to tell y'all to go get drunk and then go get fucked up and then go get fucked up, right? But what we have established over these years, well, I would not be like, come at me with a paddle, daddy, while you're drunk. Like that. No. But if you like wanted to have some wild ass, nasty, rough, kinky sex, I've just demonetized the whole fucking stream. Drunk, I mean, first of all, could we make our bodies fit together when we're boneless? I don't know. How does alcohol affect your bone? I don't know. But also, like, no, I don't want you to tie me up while you're drunk, because you're not in a good place to be able to quickly respond and react to stuff. But could we get kinky? Could you like say stuff in a scene in a way that's more mental and emotional than physical, and then end it with kinky ass sex? Drunk while we're drunk like this? Yeah, if my doctor said I was allowed to do that right now.
All right.
Yeah, I want to watch that video. I really do. I subscribed to Evie, and her video on that I want to watch, because we've kind of talked about that before. But I don't think we've ever done a whole episode on it. I think we always tie it back into safety. Mm-hmm. And then I want to watch her episode on alpha submissive, because we're starting this year to start talking about these different terms we see that are new, air quote on this, new to us, because that's not what we were really seeing a lot in our different experiences with coming up in kink. And I want to watch her episode on that, her video on that. Yeah. But then I always want to be careful, because I want to be inspired by other conversations going on, and I often am, but I never want to like pick up and copy. Like, that's gross.
Yeah, I got into a group that I'm part of, got into a interesting conversation about that line, and apparently that's where the conversation
and apparently
came
the
from.
Dildorks also recently did a podcast on
that
on something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure at least one of my children was conceived the way I've just described, minus the kink part. Actually, God love the oldest. That condom broke. That's how I have the oldest. The youngest was planned. Like, I planned it like a fucking general going to war. I wasn't even sure I liked my husband at the time, but I needed him because I wanted to have a second kid. He was very excited when I was like, okay, I'm off the birth control. It's time to start like trying to get pregnant. We didn't know how long it would take. I had heard that, it can't take so long. So you have to, whatever, you just try. And then he was very disappointed when I was a fertile myrtle. And like, I'd been off the pill like 2 weeks and I was pregnant. And then my desire for sex with him dried the fuck up. But that 2 weeks was really good for him. I should at some point explore the fact that in the 2 to 3 weeks, it was a little bit longer before I realized, wait, I might be pregnant, but I knew I was pregnant at 5 weeks, and people think I'm crazy, but I fucking knew, and none of my shit fit anymore, and I literally left work early one day to put on sweatpants because I could not button my pants at work. Took a pregnancy test the next day, confirmed pregnant. Anyway, I was fertile Myrtle. But in the 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, however long, that I was like, okay, we're trying for the baby. I want to have a second baby. We got to just start having sex, I guess. Okay, here we go. That man had some of the best fucking sex of his life while married to me. I was riding. We were trying crazy positions. I was doing shit we had never done, and we've been together for years. I never did again until like I got into my kink self. That small amount of time, best sex of his life with me. And it was all because I was like, I'm having sex for a purpose. I have a goal. I have a plan. I've tried to outline it while also trying to be flexible enough to understand that I cannot control when I get pregnant. And apparently whenever deities out there went, oh, you only have to do this till you get what you want, then you won't do this again. Don't worry, baby. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And now I've had this hysterectomy and I'm like, I never have to think about this again. It is the strangest feeling.
I bet.
It is a very strange feeling. I mean, I've been on my period. I had a period since either 8 or 9. So through my most formative years, I understood that I could technically get pregnant. And now I can very technically not get pregnant at all. And I have a theory that you and I had talked about this a few years ago, that I was experiencing side effects from my IUD. As much as I loved my IUD and as powerful as it was because my period went away, thank you, that was wonderful. I really think I was experiencing side effects. My libido, my anxiety, whatever.
Right.
And I've been very afraid to say that I think those things are getting better because I'm also in this really weird place in life where some responsibility has been taken off of me while I'm recovering. And I've rested more and just moved slower in life during this recovery period. And so it's like, is the IUD being gone the reason that some of these things are getting better? Or is it the fact that for the first time in my adult fucking life, I just sat still for a few weeks and that's why some of this stuff is getting better? But maybe it's the missing IUD.
Melly Rose, practice is good. You know, nothing wrong with practice. You improve technique.
I don't know. The weird thing was as I want to be very careful with this because I know people struggle with getting pregnant and I don't want to minimize that and I don't want to like brag about how crazy easy it felt for me to do it, to get pregnant both times, because literally a condom broke. That was the only reason the first one was conceived. And we'd been having sex with condoms for a long time before then and after them. But I actually was scared because I wasn't ready to have the first one at all. We were a family of 2, and I was making $24,000 a year. He was not working. That was it. Then I was pregnant with him, and I got a whole big old bump to $29,000 a year for the 3 of us. Husband still was not working. It was terrifying. It was terrifying. But what ended up being my thing to kind of struggle with and go through was that because I understood that I got pregnant, luckily, and not like a lot of other people's experiences, I got pregnant very easily twice. Once without trying, once while I was trying. I was terrified. I was terrified of a condom breaking. I was terrified of birth control not working. When my IUD worked and took away my period, it was the first big sigh of relief I could take in those years when I'd been having kids, because I knew I wanted to have 2 kids. And I also learned very quickly that was my max. When you can have more and you're happy with that and you can, great. I am a 2-kid max person. Thanks. But then I was like, until the IUD, I was like, oh my God, I could get pregnant again. Oh my God. And it was just this anxiety that just didn't go away until the period went away. And now, and then I was like, oh my God, I might be experiencing side effects from the IUD. But I'm like, I'm never taking this IUD out. I won't go back to having a period. And I won't go back to being worried about getting pregnant. And now I don't have to worry about any of it. And it's a huge weight off. It's huge weight off. And maybe that's why I'm feeling better. Maybe I had all this internal repressed anxiety just from my period, which I need to see a therapist about. But still, I don't know. I'm afraid to get too excited. The fact that I had a sex dream the other night. Now you know. Because I was like, oh, hi, libido. There you are. I haven't seen you in a while. We mentioned it on Wednesday, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I see it's a rambly drunk, but I'll be asleep by the time he puts me in the bed. Yeah, Silent Wing, before I went on the IUD, my periods were, oh my God. And it's funny because I love my gynecologist, the one I have now, the one who used her melon baller and scooped all the insides out. Because all I had to do was describe what my periods were like. And even though I hadn't had a period at that point in 12 years, because of the IUD, she never hesitated. She never questioned. She was like, she believed me. She was like, they are as bad, however bad you're describing them, I believe they are as bad as you said. We will not give you an opportunity to have another period again. You can stay on the IUD. We can do a hysterectomy. What do you want? Hysterectomy, please, thanks. Like, I really appreciated that because I'd had doctors before who were like, The doctor I had from the same practice as my current gynecologist who did the surgery, I tried to describe my perimenopause symptoms, and she actually told me, you're too young to be a perimenopause. I can't even say it. Perimenopause. You know what I mean? But the moment I told this doctor who did the surgery all my symptoms, she went, oh yeah, you have probably been in perimenopause since like your 30s. Yes, I believe that. Well, go tell your colleague down the fucking hall. Like, that was before I got this doctor, that was yet another fucking doctor. I was trying to go, look, here are my issues. And I recognize I can't get pregnant. I'm not trying to get pregnant, or I don't want to get pregnant, but these are issues. And that was yet another person who was dismissive. Yeah. But this doctor who scooped my insides out, thanks, doc. She's never hesitated. When I tell her I'm going through something, she goes, yep, I believe it. Yep, I believe it. It helps that she had her own hysterectomy, I think, 10 years before. Like, she needed it for her reasons, and she got it, and she's...
Night, Tomcat.
Night, Tomcat. We're talking about insides now. Something I never had to go through that. I was never quite that bad, but they were in their own, on the lesser side, but still certainly not the typical either. So, yeah. I've been very fortunate with recovery. So,
excuse me.
Up until about 3 days ago, I was, pelvic pain and pain with the incision site, which I just poked the incision and it hurt when I poked it. I shouldn't poke it.
Yeah.
But like a flip, no.
Excuse me.
Flip switch, no. A switch flipped. The pain went away. I don't trust it. I'm pretty sure it's like gonna come roaring back, or if I do too much, it'll hurt. But I've been able to roll in bed again, and that's been fucking delightful. But I wake up every time I need to roll over because I'm afraid it'll hurt. So I'm still not sleeping well. But the pain is gone. I still move a little slow. I still try to be cautious. Because it's weird because I feel a pull and a pressure where, I know that but no pain, thank God. Thank God. I've been very, very fortunate.
I see the improvement. You're doing much better.
Hey, I cleaned litter boxes for you today.
I know.
But I figured if
wasn't too thrilled about that, but
also I think you were probably pretty happy you didn't have to fucking do it. That's why I did it. I was like, okay, I can bend over finally, because I haven't been able to bend at the waist since surgery, and I could do it. It knocks my breath out of me, and I have to do it real slow, but I can do it.
I've been more grateful that on occasion you've been able to help with dishes.
Oh God, we got to get that fucking dishwasher fixed.
I know.
We got to get that fucking dishwasher fixed. Oh my God. No. I don't know. I was an okay parent when the boys were little. I didn't have a lot of patience. The 16-year-old poor baby, I worked through his whole early childhood. I was never around. The youngest has gotten a lot more of my time. But for all that their challenges of the teenage years, this is the time I feel like I relate to them better than I ever did when they were little. Like, babies are... I loved my babies. I carried my baby. Like, I never had the sling. I didn't know enough about it. I didn't have the money to buy a fucking sling. We were broke-ass bitches. But, I carried especially the oldest a lot because he was slightly early and he was teen tiny, whatever. And the time I had off from work, I was very much all about my baby, whichever baby it was. But I relate to them so much better. And I mean, that makes sense because we can have conversations and whatever. Mm-hmm. But I was never the mom who's like, you know, all my attention and focus goes to my baby. Like, I was like, okay, I know I have to because, one, that's a responsible thing to do too. They're helpless. But also, I gotta go to work and I got some shit to do. And can I just sit and read a book? And I was kind of that kind of mom. But now I'm like, yes, 16-year-old, please, I want to talk about your deepest feelings and what is going on. And he confides in me. And so I'm like, okay, this is a good age for me. And the 12-year-old is starting to slowly have those car conversations. Yeah. Talking to anybody in the car is so great. But both kids, they started opening up to me on car rides. Something about driving to school. And I'm getting all kinds
I think it's that parallel.
Absolutely. I think so too. And I just, this is my time to shine as a mom. This is the part I'm good at. The baby part, I can't tell you how many times I got peed on because I couldn't figure out to cover up their junk when I was changing diapers. 6 months, the oldest peed on me before I finally learned how to change a diaper without being peed on. I'm not made for babies. I'm a teenage mom. No, that's wrong. I'm a good mom for teenagers. Now, they still make me want to pinch little fucking heads off sometimes, but, you know. No, and it's funny. I always thought, I must have weird kids, because you get when they were younger, especially when they were kind of that rambunctious stage. They're definitely indoor cats now. But that rambunctious stage, I'd always get that kind of gross comment of, oh, boys, you must have your hands full, which people still say about girls too. They just mean something different. It's all kind of gross. I was always like, I always kind of smiled and nodded because I don't like confrontation, but I was like, are my boys strange boys? Because they're not handfuls. I mean, yeah, they're rambunctious because kids are rambunctious, but I was like, nah, these kids don't want to go anywhere. They're not tearing up my house. Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't, the stereotype stuff that people do. And I kind of understand where it's coming from. People are trying to connect. When they say shit like that, it's because they've heard it 10 million times and they're trying to find a point of connection. But it's like, we don't do that here. I don't know. It's very strange to be at the position in life to be talking about college with the oldest. And he's only a year and a half away.
I know.
Because of when his birthday falls, he'll be weird. 17 when he graduates high school. And depending on how he does his classes, he'll have 2 years of college done. Mm-hmm. It's wild.
Well, one of his friends last year now, she started college at 17. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Christy, I agree with that. The ultimate birth controls other people's children. Mm-hmm. If I ever needed a test of, was I wrong? Did I want another child? I just got to go be around somebody else's kid. And I'm like, I'm so glad I can walk away from that. I'm so glad I can walk away from that. I still shudder at them. I have visceral reactions to the memory of when the oldest vomited in my hair in an ER. He wasn't even 2 years old, and they'd just given him cherry Tylenol, y'all. And I had long hair at the time. And I had him over my shoulder and was kind of like holding him and rocking him, not patting his back too much, but like just trying to soothe him while we were waiting for the fever to come down. And right back hair. I forgot I was a mother for a minute. All I knew was I was a person who had been vomited on. And I was also reminded that I knew I was never meant to work in the medical profession. Yeah. X, that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's funny. The pressure of birthdays and holidays are off because I ask them what they want and then I try and get it for them. But also the fun and the surprise of trying to like we do spend time going, okay, this is the thing they said they wanted, and this is the thing based on what we know they like and what they said.
Night, Mason.
Night. We think they would like. And that was fun. This year for the 12-year-old, We found him an off-brand, one of those hoodie blanket things. The ones on Instagram are called Oodle, something. They're $120. And I said, hell no. We found one at somewhere else much cheaper. And you'd have thought we gave him the world.
He loves that. Yeah,
and
he loves it.
Either his grandma or his aunt found a hat that's a llama with pink ears and a tuft that's like all pastel colors, and it's a llama hat. And we could have gotten him nothing else. And I think he'd have been happy with those two things. He was like the best Christmas ever. So yeah. My favorite memory of disgustingness from babies, because it didn't involve me, I still laugh, mostly evilly. Ex-husband was changing the diaper of the oldest when the oldest was like 1 or 2 months. You know, baby poop is disgusting on a good day. I should have known I didn't like my ex before he was my ex, because I had at least learned when you change a diaper, put a fresh diaper under it. So when you pull the dirty diaper, there's something there to catch whatever might happen. He had not learned that lesson, even though I had told him. And the baby starts baby shatting everywhere. And ex-husband didn't know what to do and put his hand under said baby butt. And baby pooped in his hand. And I am in the living room reading a book while he's on diaper duty for this one time. And I start laughing hysterically. He did not appreciate my laughter. And all I heard from the other room was, "Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It keeps coming. It's so disgusting." And I laughed until tears. Like I said, "Did you put a diaper underneath it?" "I forgot." Well, that's what you get. Clearly, I did not like my ex-husband before he was my ex-husband. That was too funny. I was not sympathetic at all.
Oh gosh. Oh.
I think the only reason I'll be like a decent grandma is because I know I'll be able to hand that baby back. I'll be like, "Oh, I've had fun with this baby. You can have it back now." I do intend to do unto my children what their grandma did unto me.
Payback.
I will fill them with Mountain Dew, shake them, and then send them home to their parents. Still remember the conversation with my mom when she was like, "Well, oldest, when he was, 8 or 9, if that, maybe 7, he wanted bacon, so I cooked a pack of bacon." I'm like, "A pound of bacon? You cooked a pound of bacon for a little boy?" "Yeah, he ate all of it." "I bet the hell he did." "What? For breakfast, you just cooked him a pound of bacon and chocolate milk." "Well, a well-balanced breakfast. What was I complaining?" Look, bacon is the best fucking thing that has ever happened to mankind ever. Okay? I am not disputing that. But I'm pretty sure a 7, 8, 9-year-old child should not eat a pound of it with a glass of chocolate milk for breakfast and then be sent home to his mother. I just don't think that's how any deity intended that to go. I will absolutely be getting my revenge.
And yeah, I did finish mine before hers because there's no more vodka, so I can't taunt her anymore.
So my limit is about 6 slices. On a bad/good, depending on your viewpoint, 8. That's half a pound. I can eat half a pound. I'm a grown-ass woman with serious issues surrounding food and comfort. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump the mic. Sorry, y'all.
At least you didn't drop the mic.
I do that all the time when I finish a rant. No, I don't. No, I don't. Look, the problem is with the rants, I never end on a solid point because I will keep talking and I just sort of trail off. I never drop the mic. It's never a mic drop moment. I will say I've been very fortunate as a parent. No child of mine ever pooped in the tub. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Lola's making some strange noises over there.
She is Snorty McSnorterson.
Yeah.
I've been really tempted to make an Instagram reel with the sound from the song That's Not My Name by the Ting Tings, because I was like, let me think of what all the things we call her. Her name is Lola. But I also refer to her as Lola, Lola, singing the song.
Snorty McSnorterson.
Snorty McSnorterson. Ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am is used quite a bit.
Glumpy.
Glumpy. Yeah, but I would have to like go get pictures and or film her. So grateful I've never had tub poop to deal with. Crispy bacon all the way. Don't give me that floppy, squidgy bacon. No, I will. I get nauseous just thinking about. No. I'm happy to eat fat, but that fat better be fucking crispy. Okay, unless it's butter. And
See, I like it in between. I don't like it squishy, but I don't like it.
No.
Crispy the way
I don't even
you
want
do.
it chewy.
I want it in between.
I want it to literally crackle under the pressure of just my tongue, not even my teeth, and be so crackly that it, like, the shards just melt on my tongue.
You want it to turn to dust when you bite into it. Oh my God.
And then I'll snort it up like I've got a drug problem. Crispy bacon. And if I go to a place where I know they're not really good at crispy bacon, I will tell them, look, you can practically burn it. I'll be happy. And then I might get it right. No, my aunt, we went to a pre-plague. We went to a breakfast place. It's right by our house. We still like to go to it when we can. And she ordered her bacon. She said, look, you just pop it on the grill for like 30 seconds, flip it 30 seconds. She's like, I want it floppy. It was almost raw. Almost raw.
Night, Mally Rose.
Night. And she thought that was the best fucking bacon she'd ever had in her fucking life. And I was just sitting across the table at her. My eyes are... I know the look on my face was horrified. Like, I finally had to turn away. It's sort of like I can't watch graphic violence on a TV show. I had to turn my head. And until she had finished her bacon. I could not watch her eat that. I was like, you're eating raw. It's basically raw.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that here. No. There you go. That tissue is the mic drop that I am not capable of. No. I can kind of be okay with squishy pork fat like on a pork chop. But even then, I still want it to be crisped up if it can be without burning the pork chop or making the pork chop so overdone it's like dry and disgusting.
Night tissue.
Night. But yeah, no, I'm team. I want it to be dust. Because see, the thing is, the cool thing about, for those who eat and enjoy bacon, I'm sorry if you're like, okay, I'm gagging at the idea of bacon. I apologize. When it's super crispy and it like flakes apart, it's so crispy, those bits of fat like literally melt on your tongue. It's amazing. Like you get to bite down like a chip, which I love. I love crispy. Like that's why I can eat. That's one reason why I can eat a bag of chips by myself. It's not all the reasons, but it is one reason. And then it just, oh my God, it's so fucking good. Oh, it's so fucking good. And you know something? I like my pork chops cooked that way, but not my bacon. No, my bacon needs to be like a fucking Ruffles fucking potato chip when I'm done. I now both want crispy bacon and potato chips. That's not going to help me at almost 1:00 in the morning. Eastern Standard Time. I know it's different times for different people.
I know.
I have to pee, but I'm terrified to stand up with where the tripod is, so I'm just going to like sit here and not until we're done. I'm thinking a 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Cutoff time. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Pour me into fucking bed.
And you're gonna wait till I move that camera tripod before
Depends on
you
how
try
bad
to
I
go
have
anywhere.
to pee. I might crawl under the tripod legs if it gets bad enough. I don't know.
I'd almost say I'd like to see that, but
don't tempt me.
yeah, I know.
I'm just loose and relaxed enough. I would be tempted to try. I would definitely be tempted to try.
We don't have enough ibuprofen for you to try that.
I'm pretty boneless now. I'm not going to feel shit till tomorrow. Later today. I have never had any crispy bacon with anything sweet. I don't really do sweet and savory together. The honey butter on your chicken sandwich from earlier, that's about my speed. But I don't do a lot of sweet and savory together.
Now, you know what I have never tried? That many people have talked about, and I have never had the opportunity to try it. Chocolate-covered bacon.
It's two things I enjoy.
I could see it.
I could see that. Better be some crispy fucking bacon. Don't give me none of that squishy, chewy shit in the middle. Hell no. Hell no. But then it'd have to be really good chocolate. It couldn't be shit chocolate either.
Yeah, no.
I guess if somebody else spent their money on it, I'd take a bite if they offered, but I would not spend my money on that. That's too big of a chance of it being shit.
I would at least to try it.
I would try it. I like chocolate covered pretzels, but I tend to not because it's milk chocolate. I don't like milk chocolate, and it's takes away from my salty crunch from my pretzel.
See, if it was a dark chocolate, yeah. I'm not fond of milk chocolate myself, but I'm
not a fan of maple on bacon. I have tried those flavor combos together, and I didn't love it. And it might have been it wasn't crispy bacon. Look, you can hide a multitude of sins if you cook the bacon right. Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
Excuse me.
I would be willing to try it if it was on somebody else's dime, but I would not pay for that myself because if it was wrong and it wasn't good and I spent my money on it, I would be very pissed off. I would be so pissed off. I clearly need a sugar daddy specifically for the things people want me to try. I will not spend my own money. I'm risk averse enough that it's very hard for me to spend my money. It's why it's hard for me to try new things at a restaurant because all my anxious mind can think is you only have so much money and what if you fucking hate it? I understand the opposite of that is what if you fucking love it, but I'm an anxious person. All I can think is what if I've wasted my money and now I have something I hate? I also think sugar daddies for bacon related products should totally be a thing. I think that's a marketable thing. Sugar people of the world, feel free to market that. I freely give you that idea. No, that I don't think I could do, Christy. I'm pretty sure I love sour cream and onion chips. Those one of my top favorite chips, but the sour cream and onion flavor, I just don't think I could do that.
No, that's just not a Quebec thing. That's a northeastern thing. I've heard of that.
Laura Ingalls Wilder, Little House on the Prairie, taught me that was a thing.
That's
and I was
true.
like, why don't we have snow? Why don't we have maple syrup? Because I was in Florida, but still. Yeah, that was totally in those books.
Yeah, I remember that from Northeast Vermont.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure our Canadian friends are going to tell us that their maple syrup is better. I'm not getting into that contest. I so very rarely get actual legit maple syrup. I can't be a judge of that. I can't. So I can tell I'm inebriated because I was looking at the graph where it's showing us our viewers and people who had been here for us. And we've been here how many hours? Like 85 million. I can't even tell the count. Over 3 hours. Okay. And I just can't help but wondering how many people go, oh, these loving BDSM people, I will check that out. And they clicked, and it was the exact wrong time, and they went, I'm noping the fuck out of here. Can I see that in the analytics later? Yes. Do I go looking? No, I don't need to make myself sad on purpose.
Yeah.
But see, y'all are talking about this, and now I would really, really like some potato chips. See, we're at the point of the night where this would be the time you go get some fucking Waffle House. You get some munchies. You eat. And make yourself sick before you pour yourself into bed. Whatever.
We could have the 16-year-old drive us.
He's maybe asleep?
Probably.
Unless
he's still playing video games, because it's Friday night.
It's true. A maple syrup heist? A heist?
A heist?
I have questions.
Right?
Excuse me. Selling I should have, but I wasn't allowed to have both. You have to talk to the man in charge, and I took what I could get.
Should have had bar peanuts.
No. No. Your sourdough pretzels.
You're enjoying those way too much.
They're so fucking good. Because they're so goddamn crunchy. Again, somebody's like, oh, a BDSM live stream. They're so fucking crunchy. No, I'm noping out of here. Like, I don't know. Oh, Mr. Spock, I think I have a craving for Waffle House.
Right.
But Waffle House is a bit like Denny's. You don't go there, you end up there. So I did not know that X, but somehow I'm not surprised by that. Like, I feel like I should be, but I'm not. Andre, they probably work with DoorDash or somebody like that, and I probably could get some Waffle House. Waffle House is only worth it if you eat it as fresh as you can off the griddle. If you get it, cold waffle, no, don't eat cold Waffle House.
Red.
Friends don't let friends eat cold Waffle House.
That's a hard limit.
I'll be a hard pass on that one. No. Because once that grease congeals,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, no. Pass.
But a middle of the night, because see, it tastes better when you go in the middle of the night. I don't know why. Maybe because your ass should be asleep in the fucking bed. What the hell are you doing at a goddamn Waffle House? Also, the inebriation helps. But a sausage hash brown bowl with sausage gravy and a Diet Coke on the side, I'm here for it. We can't, but I'm here for it.
From a medical position, Silent? No, definitely not. In any state, hot, cold, or any form in
My
between.
stomach lets me know that was a mistake within a very short amount of time after eating it. But in the moment of eating it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
We ended up at Waffle House on our wedding night.
We did. We've told that story before, but we did. We were supposed to scene. We were supposed to fuck. We were kid-free for a night. And we went to Waffle House.
Well, we wanted to stop for
a coffee. You wanted a coffee at midnight. At midnight, you wanted a coffee.
Yeah. And everywhere we went, apparently it was homecoming night at several schools. And they had invaded all the restaurants.
But not the Waffle House.
Not the Waffle House.
And did we rock up? And I was in my purple wedding dress, which was not a real wedding dress, but it was my wedding dress, and
I was in my suit,
and we looked like we had been at homecoming.
Yeah.
Yes. Now all my curls from my hair had fallen, and my makeup was kind of half rubbed off because it was midnight.
And that's when we met Mama Donna.
And that's when we learned the magic of sausage gravy on top of the hash brown bowl.
Yep. Mama Donna.
Mama Donna took care of us.
Mama Donna done us right.
They say there are no angels. on earth, but we beg
Mama
to
Donna
differ.
is one. Yeah.
We met one
Yep.
one time.
Mm-hmm.
I love cold pizza.
Oh, cold pizza. Breakfast of champions.
Fucking delicious. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. I want to eat it hot when it arrives or warm. You know, I don't want to burn my fucking tongue off. But, like, yeah, I want to eat it fresh. But then when there's leftover pizza, cold leftover pizza? Yes, please. Yes, please. Oh. Biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy.
I mean, is it like spackle on the inside of your stomach? Yes.
Yes.
But also,
Does it
when it's
taste
done
good?
right, when it's done well.
And you've got a good biscuit under there when you've got
And
a
good
really
gravy,
good fluffy biscuit.
And they cook the roux so it doesn't actually taste like a flour paste and it tastes like gravy and you taste the sausage. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Sausage? What? No. So I'm sure it's not just a Southern thing, but I only know it in a Southern context. If you order chicken fried and then name of meat, chicken fried steak, chicken fried pork chop, chicken fried chicken. I've had chicken fried chicken, which doesn't make any goddamn sense, but whatever. At least from my perspective, a country-esque establishment is going to say, would you like gravy on that? You're going to say yes or no. And if you say yes, they're going to ask brown or white. White gravy is the fucking shit. And if it's done right, it's sausage gravy. And that on top of your chicken fried insert meat product here is so goddamn delicious. It is right up there with sausage gravy on a biscuit. And the only thing that can make sausage gravy and biscuits better is when you slip in an egg. And maybe some cheese and just layer the shit. Oh my God, I'm so hungry.
Now you need.
I'm so hungry.
You need to understand.
It's gravy.
In order to get good biscuits and gravy,
I want you to come to the South and tell them you want some biscuits and bechamel.
You have to come to the South.
No, baby, we can't call it bechamel here. My dad taught me the concept of bechamel, and I think I finally went, wait, isn't this what you make sauce?
Know what that is.
It's basically a roux and a cream sauce. It's just a cream sauce. It's the base of sausage gravy. And he taught me how to make it. And I was like, isn't this sausage gravy? And he went, or minus the sausage. He went, yeah. Okay. It's gravy. If it's a liquid and we are slathering it on our meat, it's a gravy. Sorry. That's I don't know if it's a Southern way, but it's a country way. That's gravy. Biscuits and gravy is so. Oh my God. Now, when biscuits and gravy is bad, it is so super bad.
Oh yeah.
You'll be like, what? How this? Because it's not even edible hardly. A hard biscuit, a cold biscuit, a thick gloopy gravy that the flour didn't get cooked enough. No, I'm so sorry. That is a travesty. That is an injustice. You have been royally fucked. Okay, with no lube. And no safe word. It's just not okay. But when it's done right. Yeah. Yeah, is it slightly liquid and I can put it on meat? It's a gravy. Can I put it on potatoes? It's a gravy. Can I put it on bread? It's a gravy. See, Robert, I'm starving now. Like, I just... Oh, no. Grits.
Grits are delicious.
Grits, that's cornmeal. That's corn. Yeah. That's gotta... Now, it should be creamy. Good grits are creamy. If they are thick and gloopy, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
They've been done wrong.
No. Grits are gritty. They are gritty, but when they're cooked really, really well, there's a creamy consistency to them as well.
Yeah. And
with
butter. Butter.
Real butter, not fake. I mean, I understand if you can't eat real butter. Like, I know someone can't eat real butter. Okay, eat the butter you love. But for those of us who can and want to and are willing to eat real butter, more butter is better. That's just a life truth if you're able to eat it.
And cheese. Cheese is good on grits.
Cheese grits. I'm
a good cheddar
to cheese grits because I've had cheese grits done so wrong so many times. Like, you could have decent grits and then add... Waffle House does this. You're like, I want cheese grits. You're like, okay. And they slap some American cheese, like a slice of Kraft singles on top of your grits. it's a travesty. Okay, it's not up there with a cold hard biscuit and a gloopy spackle like sausage gravy. Like that's the real tragic moment. But American cheese slice on top of grit, no, it's no. And I've had that so many times that I just tend to, I'm like, just give me good creamy grits with tons of fucking butter. Now I
Shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits are good.
Yeah.
Now I will offend some Southerners out there. I am not opposed to sweetened grits, a little bit of sugar on my grits. I don't want it like that all the time. I'm not like seeking that out. But I am not opposed to it. Now, there are some Southerners who come to, like, fisticuffs over this, okay? They will fight you over, do not put fucking sugar on my grits. I'm not, I tasted it once. So, like, I was like, I know people sometimes do this. What does this taste like? It wasn't awful. It was not my first choice. Butter is my first choice. But if your grits come together also like spackle, they've been done dirty. That's wrong. They shouldn't flow out, like spread across your plate like a puddle of water. That is also wrong. When it's ladled into a bowl or on a plate, it should kind of maintain its sort of taste or shape or size. It shouldn't spread everywhere. It shouldn't like harden like actual spackle. There's a sweet spot. And when you eat it, you can maybe do a fork, but you might want a spoon. There's an in between. I cannot make good grits, but I know good grits when I eat them, and I definitely know bad grits. Because I've definitely...
Yeah, grits can go two ways. Like she said, they can either be like...
Literally, you could put
paste.
bricks and mortar.
Yeah.
Like, I could put a wall up with this shit.
It's like clumped paste.
Nobody wants that. That's not good.
And then I've also had them where it's like soup.
And that's also not good.
That's also not good.
Like, if there's more liquid in between individual grits, like a grit is here and then a quarter of an inch over here is another grit, those are not good either. The grits should all come together to form a collective of grits, okay? Mm-hmm. There should be a commune of grits, all kind of together, working together, not separated. No.
Right.
The flavor's not bad. It's corn. It's cornmeal is what it is. So it's kind of a light flavor. Most of the flavor really comes from the butter and salt and pepper you might put on it. Mm-hmm. It's filling. I'll say that because as you're eating it and it cools off, it does become kind of spackle-like. It's lining the inside of your stomach right there with the sausage gravy.
Yeah. I've had fries and brown gravy. That is good.
I don't love brown gravy. I'm not a huge fan of brown gravy. Every once in a while, I'll taste a brown gravy that's fucking delicious. Yeah. Truly delicious brown gravies, to me, tend to be made with actual pan drippings from the meat. Anything else is decent at best, and I'm not interested. I'm not much of a gravy. I do like sauces. But I'm not much of a gravy person. Okay. Brown gravy. Okay. And I don't get a lot of sausage gravy because you have to fucking make it. Although I did keto-fy a sausage gravy, and that shit's delicious. Yeah. It's heavy cream. I will use half and half of heavy cream. It's cream cheese, it's sausage, and then like your spices or whatever. And it's super simple. It's delicious. But...
Enjoy breakfast, Crow.
Yeah. Have some for us.
You know it's after 1 a.m.
Yeah, I know.
I have to make a dump run in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be up at like 5:52 anyway.
Probably.
Your eyes will just pop open.
I'll run to the dump and then I'll lay down on the sofa and Lola will crawl up on top of me and we'll take a nap.
I will say that is a form of brown gravy I would try. Okay, I always fuck up words. Is it poutine? I know I probably said it in the most country southern way that it could be said, and the Canadians just like cringed. That does sound delicious, and I would eat that, is my point. Even though I'm not a huge fan of brown gravy. I don't have anything against brown gravy. Oh yeah, well that makes sense. It would need to melt the cheese curds. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. Look, if I can try your French fry dish, Come on, you can try my grits. Not mine. I'm not making grits because I would fuck them up. I would totally fuck them up. That's one of the things.
I had grits down to an art for a while there.
Yeah, it's true. You were making them a lot.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I always disliked about Waffle House, and it's true of any establishment, but especially like Waffle House is your drunk food night, blah, blah, blah. The grits were hit or miss. Like, when I worked there 20 plus years ago, and when I used to eat there more regularly than we do now. And so I don't really order grits unless I can see into their grit pot.
Yeah.
Because if it looks like they're literally shoveling gravel, I'm like, those grits got sat out too long.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to touch them up. So I'll go with the hash browns, but the oil they use on the hash browns is like toxic to my body. It rejects it very quickly.
Yeah.
But it tastes delicious in the moment. Even as you're sitting there eating it going, oh, there is nothing natural about this oil. Should I put this oil in my car instead? I'm gonna regret this later, but my tongue is so happy right now. Poutine, okay. Oh, I couldn't say that song. I could say poutine. I cannot say however you say it when you put a T and an S together in a word. I can't say that. It's like I can't speak good. I was never meant to speak good Spanish, but I can't speak good Spanish because I can't roll my R's. So. We should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, we need to.
The alcohol. Blame the alcohol.
Sure. Whatever.
Sure. I had fun.
I did too.
The Q&A was pretty good.
Yeah.
I hope other people enjoyed it. I mean, look, if we aren't having fun, what the fuck are we doing here? But also, it can't just be us having fun. We can do that without having to do all this.
Mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
We can, right? We're capable of that, right? Or do we need an audience in order to have fun? Oh, yeah. I feel the same when I eat at McDonald's. I'm like, this is delicious. Also, my body's going to reject this very quickly. But I'll enjoy it while it lasts.
You enjoy it at the moment, but later on you regret it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was late. I'm not even gonna wait for a round number, Silent Wing. It's too fucking late. I'm just chilled out enough from the vodka that one, I keep moving away from the microphone. Sorry, and two, I don't fucking care tonight. It'll be fine.
There you go.
Look, we went to midnight in some time zone. We did not guarantee our time zone. We just try.
Right.
I have a feeling next month you'll like crack the whip and be like, no, we're going to bed at a reasonable fucking time. Oh my gosh, these are so fun.
Yeah. But yes, we need to say goodnight.
Okay, yeah, we probably do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
I think I just burped into the microphone. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But my stomach hasn't growled this time, so.
There you go.
How do you say goodbye? Oh, okay. See, you're over there yawning.
Right.
I'm going to crawl under the tripod so I can go to the bathroom.
No, you're not.
I would never get back up.
Right. And you'll be in serious trouble.
Could I even get
Probably
down?
not.
I like this being self-care. I agree. Every time we stream, even when we're talking about like more serious topics, it feels like self-care to me. So, but this is the let your hair down. Oh, what hair? We got no fucking hair on this side. Shaved all yours off.
Yep.
Oh, Big Mac. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now I want a big, and McDonald's fries are hands down the best fries. Fast food fries. I can't speak for other fries, but fast food fries are the best fucking fries. Look at y'all, get me going.
All right.
Is it punkorific? Punkorific makes more sense. Yeah. I still have the fear of butchering names, and there I go doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
I am so sorry. Anyway, I'm glad you were able to catch a stream.
Yep. Glad to have you here.
We are those people who are like, we're leaving, and then we stand at the front door for an hour.
Yeah.
And we don't actually leave.
Say goodnight, baby girl.
Good night, baby girl. I am old enough to get that reference. Thank you very much. If you did not get that reference, you're young. Stay that way, okay?
Right.
Stay golden, okay?
All right.
My throat hurts. I've been talking so much.
You have.
I'm thirsty, so I'm going to drink this watered down ice, even though I've really got to pee.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Yes.
Glad to have you here. We had a good time. Hope you had a good time.
If you're watching later, yeah, we really did keep this up on the fucking internet.
Yeah.
So, no shame.
Mm-hmm. So, we will talk to you all later. We'll see you on Wednesday as usual.
Oh, not that anybody but like the 5 people who are still here are going to hear this, but we will be streaming a little bit earlier on Wednesday.
True.
Not by much, but a little bit.
Yeah, 30 minutes earlier.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to go.
All right.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night. Bye. I'm going to hit the buttons now.
Hit the buttons.
I'm hitting the buttons.
Hit the buttons.
Bye.